Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the 2017 Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge. I'm Woz, this is Moz, Moz and Woz on the mic again. We are back for 2017 Moz. Look at that haze out there on the track. We've just had our drivers out there for their first warm-up.
Yeah, it's only a warm-up at the moment. Of course, we're going to move into the Honeywell Garrett practice session coming up very shortly, Woz. But hey, first of all, welcome back to Australia, Woz. I think it's about the 5th year in a row we've shared this JOB, and it gets better every year, doesn't it? I mean, you yourself look better every year, I must say. But I mean, the quality of the field, the production, everything is tip-top, and wow, we're about to go into practice, qualifying.
Moz, this is hands down the best field that we've seen out here on the Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge. This is an evenly matched field. There are probably 24 guys of the field who are probably capable of winning. You've got a couple of favourites out there?
I do have. I'd love to see Jake Jones have a red-hot go, but I know Josh Botch is right on the point. So too is our main man, Mike Rosenblatt, winner of last year. There was another one also in there, Matty Hill last night. He was really good as well. You need a lot of horsepower in this track, Woz. That's what it is. And like Mad Mike said today, they're chasing grip. They need grip.
This one here, Moz, is worth having a good look at. Michael Bonnie Bondslide. You know a little bit about the man with the dream parts list underneath the bonnet of that car.
Well, we go back now 2-3 years ago when he built that thing. That was the idol. And now it's just in sort of line with a lot of these. It was the first one to run the laughing gas, the party starter, and now everyone's got the gas aboard. But it is a genuine first real 1,000 horsepower car in Australian drifting. It has and had the best of everything. And Michael Bondi now running.
That's actually Drew Donovan on screen in the Harkon suspension. It's the ex-Jody Verhulst Drift, Australian drift car. So Drew's taken possession of that car. It's being shipped back to New Zealand. It's actually going to become his D1NZ competition car.
Oh, there you go, really. So he borrowed the wife's car.
He has borrowed the wife's car. Jody's up there, I believe, spotting on the hill for him as well. So we might see if we can catch up with her tomorrow as Michael Bonnie heads away from the start-finish line, the C&D Motorworks S15.
Top fuel, huh? We used to call it the top fuel because it had the massive horsepower.
So if you've just joined us here and you haven't watched the World Time Attack drifting before, that first corner there, Moz, is about 165, 170 k/h entry for the top drivers here. These guys primarily all on semi-slick tyres. They're all on 265 wide rubber. So we're expecting some pretty special things tomorrow night, Moz, when these guys get into battle. The top 32, of course, fighting all the way to the death for the 2017 Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge. As we see Mitch Jeffrey come through. What do you know about Mitch, Moz?
Not a great deal. Mitch sort of, he's a New South Wales guy, local guy. He's very, very fast, very consistent. Runs a fair bit of the figure 8 drift down here in New South Wales. Benny Mia there with the Harrop manifold hanging up through the bonnet. Sorry, Holly injection in that manifold. That's a pretty cool car of Benny Mia's as well.
A couple of the local boys who potentially are worth keeping an eye on. Now, speaking of keep an eye on, Brad Toohey. Brad Toohey told me in the pits before he thinks he's got all the gremlins out of that car. The supercharged, turbocharged Achilles machine, the 86. He thinks it could be his here, Moz. He's had some bad luck here in the past.
I think it's the only twin supercharged LS motor in the world. Hey, check this one out, fans. 1,000 horsepower. It's a RB... 28, I believe, is it? 28?
32.
32. Jake Jones' new pride and joy. He's built his dream car, man. So cool.
Speaking of dreams, the ladies' dream, Matty Hill. He's actually got that on the side of the car, Moz. It's got Matty Ladies Man Hill on the door now. Matty was over in New Zealand for the D1NZ series, competing recently. This is Blake Patterson on screen now, I believe, Moz.
Look, they call him the nice guy. You know, he's one of the nicest guys in drifting. He's very, he works with people in positions where they've got no power. He'll wait for him at the start, things like that. Blake Patterson, dark horse. I'll put it out there right now.
From no power to lots of power. Team Tyre Barbecue, Adam Monk. Oh, we're going straight to 10. It was the two Link ECU sponsored cars. Camo Moat, who came third last year, and Al the Shark Sharker, sporting the Link ECU livery this weekend for competition. That's Al's new car. It's not the same one we saw him competing in here last year, but that car of Camels is the same car, Moz, with a fair amount of refinement, and he told me this is going to be his event.
He's coming off the back of a win at the Winton round recently as well, so good form there from Camo Moat. That car, so smooth, and he drives it really well. He's at one with at the moment. Levi Clark there, an Exceedi clutch machine leading out on that one.
Car bit down there, Moss, just fired forward. The mechanical grip on that car is pretty solid there, because that Michael Crosland car is not slow. Now, speaking of not slow, the Josh Botcher machine with that late model Speedway engine underneath the bonnet with Shane Van Gisbergen tucked in behind him, the MCA suspension car. This is the first time Shane's had a go chasing someone behind the wheel of that MCA machine, which we know, of course, Moz, has the VK56 out of Chris Forsberg car. Yeah,
that's right, the VK56, and it's a screamer of an engine. Both these engines really crank hard, so it'll be the 8-cylinder Symphony, or 16-cylinder Symphony, if you like.
New Zealand's Adam Davies out on track, the Miko Max mufflers. That's the 13B powered entry, Moz. Where do you sit on that one? That one's a polarising car with the rotor underneath the bonnet of the Sylvia.
And I asked him today, I said, what's the story with it, mate? Is it the only one in the world, the only rotary 180? He said, no, but I started it. He said, now everyone's copying me. So it's a pretty cool little car. I like it.
The difference, of course, between the two teammates is 2 kilowatts. Adam's car is 558, Dave's car is 560.
Yeah, it was unbelievable when I was talking. Same turbos, same everything, except a different engine, basically. But
right, that's the man to watch on your screen there, Michael Rosenblatt. Moz, he is the best chaser in the game going around the moment, right?
Yeah,
there is that other guy called James Dean, of course, that is doing a bit of damage globally at the moment, but Mick Rosenblatt, hands down, I think, amongst the field here, is the form chaser, but that guy is not going to be far behind. Cole Armstrong, D1NZ National Drifting Champion for 2016-17. He is back, and he is a driver looking to get a good result here.
How about his starter motor fell off in practice at lunchtime today, earthed out the battery, had to go and buy a new starter motor down the road, late for driver's briefing.
To be honest, I'm not sure what was more shocking, that or his father Bryce's new moustache, because that thing is a horrendous.
It's like a caterpillar on the top lip.
Yeah. It's very European. Now, this guy.
Oh, here we go.
Daigo Saito, FD competition spec Lexus, 1200 horsepower. First we've really seen of it over the weekend. It hasn't been driven in anger. Anthony Billick out on track, the AAA tyre factory entry. I believe that Billick will be the only one in the field on 235 wide tyres, Moss. He's on the little SR20.
He is SR20, but he had it working last night. I was super impressed for an SR. He was really killing it. Now, Rob White, been out of the seat a while, picked up the new, back with Monster Energy again, once again, and Robbie White there with that NASCAR Mopar engine under the bonnet, pumping out the big numbers. Sounded sweet.
All right, the Fink, Luke Fink. Moz, what was happening with Luke yesterday? Had a few
clutch
problems?
dramas, yeah, they had some big clutch dramas. They sorted that out last night. They also had some tyre binding on the guard issues. They've agricultured that out and got it back on song. You know this guy can chuck it from way back, low horsepower or not. He can tip it in hard. He takes a big hunk of Apex there with him. But Luke Fink, smoke on all the way around. A bit of dirt turbo.
A lot of smoke there from Luke Fink. That's not going to end well for him, I don't think.
230 kilowatts, I think they got at the wheels. Not a great deal, but Fink's right on form as he's been. Just coming back out of Greece last weekend, where he ran in the King of Nations over there. Had a cracking run in the big turbo, supercharged, M10, V10.
I lose track, Moz. The man seems to be behind the wheel of a different car almost every weekend. Mitch Jeffrey back on track. Again, local boy. Bit of support here for Mitch. Remember, we are running an open practice session at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, and then we are going straight into qualifying. Top 32 battles taking place tomorrow night. Usually, Moz, we would run the top 32 down to 16 on the Friday night, but we are under some time pressures here at Sydney Motorsport Park. So join us nice and early tomorrow from 6:30 Australian time, 8:30 New Zealand time, straight into the top 32 tomorrow. We are battling all the way to the end to find a winner of the Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge for 2017 is Dave Steedman. Mimico Ryco 24/7 sponsored S14 RB30 underneath the bonnet.
All the way from New Zealand?
All the way from the retirement capital of New Zealand, Tauranga. Dave is the president of his local RSA and Grey Power chapter.
Right. They've got no teeth, they've got to eat flan and custard and that.
Might be embellishing slightly. Dave's a little bit grey on top. He prefers to call them highlights, but I can't really cast stones in glass houses. As we see, there's our esteemed judging panel. DK in the middle with now the guy on the left of the screen there. That's Denzo.
Definitely the pie eater. He's loving it. That's Denzo. He's back and that guy's loose.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have direct comms to them at the moment, do we, Moz? So they don't know that we're talking to them and making fun of them. We'll try and get some radios up there, get some comments from the DK as we head into the qualifying section of battles. Michael Bonney, much more aggressive this time. Oh, look at the smoke pouring off the back of that thing.
It's always jarring hard too, but a little bit of inconsistency there with it, unfortunately. But this weekend could be his weekend. So been on the job chasing all around Australia.
That was probably one of the themes, Moz, as we sort of walking. I don't know if you noticed when we were walking around the pits before, but a lot of the drivers talked about those little inconsistencies and learning, and we sometimes have a perception, I suppose, that the local drivers know this track really well, but the reality is, as Bo Yates says, this is the one time a year they actually get to drift this section, and it's not an easy section.
Yes,
there's a lot of subtle technical corners.
It looks like one corner actually has 3 apexes almost. I call it the money corner, but it's the Honeywell Garrett corner this weekend. But you've got to get your gear ratio right. Because if you're topping out in third, no good. If you put it in fourth, you haven't got the torque to get it back on. But last night, a lot of guys were changing gear ratios so they could use fourth for longer and not have to go back to third, keep the smoke on, keep the angle, of course.
We need some wind, Moz, otherwise we're going to have some visibility problems up there on the hill, I feel, and I think there might be a few more people up there tomorrow night, so we might be able to get them to just do a Mexican wave or something and wave the smoke away, but there's not much breeze up there on the hill at the moment, so that thick smoke is starting to blanket the track as we see Blake Patterson come through again.
Yeah, smooth looking car too. Blake presents it very well. I think he won at Mount Gambier drift competition very recently too, over there in South Australia, and he's on form. And as I said, a couple of people have said he's a dark horse, so we'll keep an eye on Blake, see how sort of run he gets through.
Speaking of dark horses, so this is the highest horsepower car in the field, 1280 horsepower, quad rotor turbo. Carl Thompson out of Warkworth in Auckland.
Yeah, the Fat Boy racing machine. It's a hell of a thing. Nitrous. Huge turbo, 4 rotors. Thanks for coming, Mama.
Yeah, good to see his dad is over here as well, Jamie. I believe Jamie's actually the car owner for that car as much, and Carl's the driver. The Link boys going through again. It's good to see Al Sharper in the chase position there, just warming up. Let's see what Mick Rosenblatt does here. I think he'll have the lead.
Looks like from there, Mike Rosenblatt will lead out on Josh Botcher in the Ian Botcher race parts. GT radials backed. Which is a Speedway motor, but it's a 7.2 litre Chevy late model engine, they call it. High revving. It's got an injected throttle body, so it looks like a carby, but it's got the injectors in the top of it. Running the Motec. That's a fair bit of kit, and he's at one with the car. They haven't changed anything in like 12 months or more because it is such a good package. Yeah,
Josh is one of those guys too that's been coming here year after year after year, Moz, without really having the... I just tend to think of it as the luck of the draw. He tends to come up against other highly skilled drivers and well-prepared machinery quite early on in rounds, and just hasn't always got the calls going his way. And if he was to see Rosenblatt, I imagine in the top 32, he probably wouldn't be that impressed with his fortunes here at Sydney Motorsport Park as they go up through turns 16, 17 and 18 here.
The judges went through the middle of that right-hander one. So they're all sitting off the curb. That makes them a little bit shallow there coming into the next turn. Of course, we wind up here with an inside clipping point right out to the outside clipping point there. Michael Rosenblatt right on point and smoke on hard there in the new Lon back machine. Commodore Wreckers out of Queensland. Wow, this is going to be good. I cannot wait.
Drew Donovan, Donny D behind the wheel of the 2JZ. Did we ever look under the bonnet of that one, Moss?
I can't say.
Was it a 2J or an LS?
I'll come back to you on that one. I'm pretty sure
we'll check your notes. I get confused. They seem to swap motors reasonably often. Shane Van Gisbergen chucking himself in the deep end. May as well just start off the night with a chase on Daigo. Why not?
Yeah, Daigo, this car, I read up about it because I didn't know much about it. And when they released it in America, it was just a jaw-dropper. Everyone around the place like, wow, look at this thing. What a piece of kit. It had no roof on it at the time, of course that comes off. And man, it is a reasonable bit of gear.
It looks very quick, Moz. It looks very quick. And the other drivers in the paddock were very much talking about how they were going to try and keep up with it. Now, one guy who is pretty confident is that man there, Mad Mike Whittett, behind the wheel of the refreshed Bad Bull. He is a man who knows this track very well. We mentioned earlier on, Moz, we talked to him a couple of times today. Mike's quietly confident. He's feeling good. He's been second here before. He's been third here before. He's never stood on that top step, but he comes in the best form of his career, having just won that FD round, as we see Bo Yates.
Oh, she dropped a bit of sauce out the front.
Bit of
sauce like a Dagwood dog, I think. I'm not quite sure, but it's been a little bit hot. He did mention last night he was getting a little bit up in the temperature.
Doesn't seem too stressed. So there we are. He's fine.
That's the boat show, ladies and gentlemen. The new livery, the Toyota Genuine Parts Komatsu Achilles tyres, back 86, running the 2J, and power tuned in the tuning on it.
Helmet went straight back on. Moz, I don't think he was too worried. I think he's heading straight out the door. We will head down there tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll bring you a bit of colour from the pits. Probably just stay with things as they are for tonight, Moz, as we're working on that compressed format. The boys just going through practice at the moment. Then we are going straight into qualifying. Now, there is no order to qualifying, Moz. It's basically run as soon as you want to in the order. So some of the drivers favouring qualifying early, just getting it out of the way while the heat is still in the track. Others are wanting to play the waiting game. There's a bit of a thought that maybe we might see the line change as we did last year. We saw a bit of evolving of the line. The boundaries got pushed a little bit. So it will be very much a wait-and-see approach from a lot of the drivers, I think. Expect to maybe see one of the more aggressive drivers go out early and throw down, but because they have to go back-to-back, Moz, they're not going to get the luxury of seeing how the other guys have attacked the track.
That's it, you just touched on that. They've got to do back-to-back runs. So you can't come into the pits to change tyres, you can't do anything. You've got to stay on the track. If you do one run, come in, that's it. That's the only run that counts. That was a bit of a curveball thrown up down driving through today. That's the People's Champion, Matty Russell. He comes round, puts down another good lap. A bit low on horsepower, Matty Russell, but what he loses in horsepower, he makes up for talent. And soon to become a dad too, the young Matty Russell. Hi to Nicole at home.
There was talk of potential streak loss if Matty Russell won and actually made you a happy man here.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I reckon I'd stand naked in the front window of the Alpha Hotel over the road there for a month. That'd be awesome.
Fink is just attacking that circuit. He just lost the rear, he's lost the front.
And rear bar's gone.
And will he even stop? Is he going to stop or is he just going to keep going? There is a car buried in that smoke there, so let's just hope Luke drives that out of there, because that will be a very fast part of the section there as we go to the K&N. Action replay here. Luke Fink way out wide with the big dirt turbo. Just ran out of grip there, I think, Moz. Just over-committed, chucked it off the edge.
Look, I was speaking to him just half an hour ago. You know, he's down on horsepower by a mile. He's up on talent. And I said, man, you're just going to have to send it. There's no way, you can't muck around with this thing. You are going to have to attack it. He goes, I always do. I said, well, what about a quick kick in the old leg before you go out there and just to fire him up, boys? I said, make sure you get him angry.
There's a joke I could make about what Cole Armstrong is up to there, Moz, with the smoke billowing out the windows there, but Cole is just trying to clear some vision there, having done a burnout in the burnout box there up just prior to the start-finish line.
That's a chance to put a little bit of heat in the back tyres rather than landing at turn number one with cold tyres. They've got a burnout box. Now, that's pretty cool. I love a burnout box. That's
drifters are special people, Moz. We have to contain them to particular areas. So that's Colin and Darren, two good mates. Cole Armstrong, Darren Kelly, but they call themselves Colin and Daryl.
Colin and Daryl.
Yeah,
I love this R35, mate. It is a cracking machine. Now, you said earlier on the story behind it was they bought it as stolen, recovered.
It's Levi Clark's pit trolley is showing on the screen there.
Look at the camber on the thing. It is next level camber. I
wonder if we could enter that in the Flying 500 tomorrow. It probably wouldn't be very quick, but it'd be fun.
Huge camber. Huge. And like the pipe, good dumper, good gazouter. That's the pit chariot there for the team there at Exceedy Clutches. Righto, now Nissan Motorsport R35. Yep. All the way from New Zealand, running the RB...
3.4. 3.4 litre underneath the bonnet of the Darren Kelly machine, brand new motor.
So stolen, recovered. They pulled out the
VR. I get confused. I don't know
that out.
That well.
Slipped in there the RB, the straight six. You look in the back of it, and all the boot lid and everything's been cut out of the back with bar work in there. There's not much R35 left underneath the panels, and they've chopped around what is basically a cult car, but obviously got it cheap, and now it is a cult car again because I love it. Horsepower-wise, got plenty to give away as well.
I'll tell you what, it's brutally fast, Moz. I've been in the passenger seat of it, and it just keeps pulling like a schoolboy, that one. Just goes and goes and goes.
Got it hard. That's good to hear, and we're looking forward to seeing that 35 in action. You know what? I'd like to say that he's going to make it through to the top four.
Well, look, there's
a
a bit of a running sweepstake at the moment. The wonderful marketing manager for Newlon that we all know as Dawsey has indicated he's willing to put a side bet on for the best result for a New Zealand car versus Mr. Newlon, Michael Rosenblatt. So in talking in the pits earlier on, Darren Kelly told me he was going to win. Cole Armstrong just told me he was going to tattoo Michael Rosenblatt's door.
Whoa.
He didn't say he was going to win, he just said he was going to tattoo the door. And that is, of course, that car's the old girl, so he's not afraid to scratch it. The main competition car currently in China on Chinese Series. Look at the angle out of the Darren Kelly car there, Miles.
Yeah, looking very strong indeed. Lots of steering lock there. Looked like that GTR back in that. Maybe it was a Winters, I'm not sure. It looked off the line. But it's definitely not the GTR 35 back in, because that's got the gearbox in it.
I don't think there's too much stop in that car. I'm thinking Winter's quick change probably in there, Moz. This is probably the way that they've gone with that car there, as we see the Matty Hill entry performance custom cluster development car.
Gripped up there, or missed a gear, or maybe it's not something like a clutch slip, because these guys give their clutches such a hard time, and that's where Robbie White had some problems last night with his clutch. Bros in the house. Michael Brosnick in the Supreme Caravans machine. It's a very, very strong motor. It's one of the Dewar racing engines, and they're basically background in Speedway, and they know how to put together a hard revving Chevy.
Nice smooth run there from Michael Prosnick as well.
Yeah, Pros is on top of his head. He's been to New Zealand a few times too.
Yeah, it's been to you. We were actually talking about that earlier on. Pros and I actually formulated the deal for him to go to New Zealand here about 4 years ago when he approached me in the pits and said, I want to come to New Zealand and compete. And I thought, well, that's nice. You're a drifter. You've probably got no money whatsoever and you want everything for free. And three months later, the guy's on the phone saying, yeah, I'll lease a car and I'll come over and I'll see what it's all about. And then he shipped over his own car. So
full of VB.
Yeah, well done to Michael Prosnick, who has been competing on a global basis, really. He's been over to Asia as well. He was the King of Nations champion.
Of course, Gear Wheels backed him over there and now back him back here as well. So, once you get a bit of backing for the big companies like that, you show up on their radar, it's pretty cool. And Pros, he does it well. I like his style.
Yeah, what's Robbie got on the back there? Look like some Achilles 1, 2, 3 drift rubber there.
Achilles this weekend, yes, indeed. Robbie White.
I think the majority of the field probably seem to prefer the Achilles tyre, although we know that we've got the Evergreen tyre out there, we've got the Zestino. Jake Jones, of course, is on the Yokohama rubber. Moz, what told you earlier on, is it 100th anniversary for Yokohama?
Certainly is 100th anniversary this year. I mean, how cool are you celebrating that with the Yokohama World Time Attack? Just touching back there, 18 by 9.5 wheels under the back of Robbie White's car with Achilles aboard. A lot of good rides.
Bodger looking real strong there, Moz. Look at that consistent angle through the section there. That was nice and smooth there.
Small, straight. You don't even see that. Okay, time for eargasm. Check this out, fans of the hill. 4 rotors of love.
Just listen to it, Moz. Just listen to it.
That's a sweet noise, isn't it?
There is it's going to be our first look at Mad Mike Whittett for the evening. Moz, we haven't seen him out there yet, have we? We saw him warming up earlier, but we haven't seen him really attack the session.
A couple of smashed carrots there from Donnie D. But yes, Mad Mike, of course, the people's champion. And half the people are here to see and hear that machine of his. But we're looking for some big flame pops out the wastegate through the bonnet as well.
Oh, much better there from Drew Donovan, looking real good there.
That's nailed. So whatever he's done back in the pits, but it's a tyre pressure change or whatnot, it's worked for him. Big bead locks there on the custom designed rotiform wheels there on the Mad Mike Whittett Bad Bull.
It was interesting talking to Mike about those wheels and the fact that this car runs mismatched, and he just said that's just the way he prefers the look of this car with a mismatched wheel set. It's the way he designed it, the way he envisioned it. He's talked a lot today about his vision for each of his vehicles and the fact that everything he does is always one of a kind, and there's nothing else like it in the world. And you would certainly agree with that, Moz, with the way that machine is handling so far this weekend. JB back in the pits there. Let's have a look at how Mad Mike Whittett goes here. We might just have a listen to this one too, Moz, because you and I can actually hear this car screaming from where we are way down in the pits. Oh, have I put the commentator's hex on him, Moz?
Just bit him there slightly, whether it was in the wrong gear or missed the gear.
We'll call that one a sighter, Moz. I think that was a sighter.
You got 3/4 of it right anyway. Brad Tui, twin supercharged LS under the bonnet of the 86. As you mentioned before, he's on top of the game now. Car is sorted. And looking for big things here from Brad Tui. Achilles radials, Prestige tyre and auto back machine.
How much ponies was this one putting out there, Moz?
I think we're in the 800 department there for the Brad Tui machine. Well, I think he told me 600, but I had to add a bit to that because he does reserve himself a little bit when it comes to letting me know what is going on. But you can see on top of the engine there, that's the intake for both the turbos. It's a big aluminium box with an air cleaner plate across the top, and it feeds both turbos down either side of that box. So it's a bit of cold air induction, if you like. And that's right, turbos, twin superchargers. What am I saying? 2 superchargers, so it feeds the twin superchargers through that air cleaner. And the superchargers, they look like a turbo. They're those, what do you call the things?
So Brad Tui trying to get the attention of the start-finish line officials there.
Probably tell that bloke to stop calling it twin turbos.
Might possibly be. Interesting to see what Brad is checking on here on the start-finish line.
I think he was asking for a cookie. Oh, look out.
Here's our judges.
3 wise men. 3 wise men. Have a look
Denzo.
Here. Daddy Denzo Verhumas in the house.
Toshi. Oh, there we are. Hello, boys. You can hear us now. You can hear us, Toshi. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Toshi. Can you hear me?
Not quite. That's the DK in the house in the middle there, and that's going to be a cracker because he's always funny. Last year made us all laugh, made the whole event.
He was
Drift King. And then on the right-hand side, the great Toshi Ayama. Toshi's in there as our judge as well as interpreter. And I'm not sure how Danny Verhumas got the job, but there must have been a...
There was no one else available, Mons. The line was long and not very distinguished, and Denzo was the last on it.
I do like the guy, though. He makes me laugh, and I like to laugh. His humour can sometimes be, well, just a little bit odd, they might say.
Hey, look, Moz, look, let's be honest. People don't like listening to us all the time either. The Moz and Woz show isn't everyone's cup of tea. I mean, not all of us are fishing enthusiasts. Now, speaking of fishing enthusiasts, there's a bit of a story too. Your favourite, well, actually, it's your second favourite competitor was going to be Dylan Wilhouse. As we take a look at some steam coming from the front. Is that heat on the front of the...
No, that's steam, radiator steam. I think he's getting a little bit hot on the line. Last night he was hot. He found a thermo fan wasn't working, one of the two. Now he's working. Back to Dylan Wilhouse. Tell me, he's a fisherman?
He is a fisherman with a couple of New Zealand records, but Moz, I got told basically earlier on the pits, he gave the thing a big clutch kick, and it basically disintegrated on him yesterday. So Dylan Wilhouse, unfortunately, all the way from New Zealand, is not going to partake in anything other than perhaps some after-party festivities.
There was talk of going fishing with our shark, Sharker.
You were going to take him shark fishing, weren't you?
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah. Now I know he's got records, they're going anywhere near him.
Avid fisherman yourself, sponsored by 1 or 2 reputable brands.
Including 13 boats out of the land of the Long White Cloud, of course. We're going over there in April to fish their competition. Now back to Brad Tui in the Achilles radials machine. Brad's fired up big time now through to turn number 2. Smoke on out to the outside clipping point now. Winds up to the inside. Taps that nicely. All we need now is to get out wide enough out to the exit, and he does that to the outside clipping point. Pretty well. That's what the judges have been looking for.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that plays out tomorrow night too, Moz, because you can see the cars tipping off the edge onto that concrete there. Now, if you imagine the chase car being in position, being a further car length behind that, they're actually almost going to disappear in behind that car and then come back over a hump. And we saw last year that unsettled the cars as they came back onto the track. And just you might see that transition tomorrow, just depending on whether people get lost in the smoke. Levi Clark looks like he's done a pretty good job there chasing Adam Monk in the new Lawn Tyre Barbecue entry.
Yeah, indeed. You can't see much at all. Mike Rosenblatt was saying last night he was following Josh Botcher, and he said he just had to get out of the front. He couldn't see.
Yeah, they drive by sound, was in by memory, basically. These guys have no idea.
It's like throwing cotton balls at the back of the car.
Chase cars. Yeah,
cotton balls.
Bo Yates seems to have stemmed the leaking of green blood from the front of the car.
Brad Tui, they left the source on the start line, you might notice in that picture there. So Tui losing some fluid, hot last night, thought he fixed it, still hot. There was the talk of a new computer went into it. He wasn't quite happy with the tune. They were going to do that, then they found the thermo fan wasn't working. But Tui there with some overheating issues. It's been the order of the weekend so far, or the week if you like, is overheating. It's still quite warm here in Sydney. It's in the sort of low 20s all day. It's been hot and sunny. That track's still withholding a lot of temperature in it, and that could be part of, well, it could affect the tyres, could affect the intake temps and all the rest of it. Now, Dave Steedman in the Mimico Ryco Kobelco back machine out of New Zealand. Sister car's got the rotary in it. This one is the S14. And two identical looking cars, identical sponsors, identical turbos, pretty well identical. Everything except one's a rotary, one's an RB.
Yeah, two very good mates and two guys who both featured on the podium for the first time this past D1NZ season. So both of them looking for breakout international results here at Sydney Motorsport Park. But Dave Steedman just let Bo go there. So whether something went wrong there for Dave Steedman on the line, or whether he was just saying to Bo, go and do a solo pass to make sure everything's fine, we shall find out as we head down to the pits later on. We'll go down there, Moz, I think, and grab a little bit of feedback and a little bit of feeling from the guys as they've now had their first look at the section as it starts to get a little bit darker, Moz. And as you and I know, what's on the screen here appearing to our crowd at home is very different to what's actually out there on the track, and it's pretty dark and it's pretty hard to see out there, Moz, and we've had guys in past get pretty lost out there, and frankly, Moz, I'm surprised that so many guys have elected to run such small lights on the front of the cars. As you saw there, a little bit of flame coming out the front of Dave Steedman's RSA barbecue.
You've got to have the wastegate at the bonnet. I know Mad Mike maybe was the first to do it, but now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure of where it sort of originated from. It's maybe our research assistant Squeak could check to see who pioneered that. I know it's a recent New Zealand thing because it wasn't actually legal under Motorsport New Zealand rules to have the gate exiting out the bonnet, but it will be for this coming season. Andy Worth. What do we know about Andy Moss?
Not a great deal. I didn't get a chance to catch him. Every time to his pits, he wasn't there. This is an LS powered 86. He's had the kit together for a while. Now it's got a new paint job. It's had a facelift, if you like, and a very strong competitor, very well set up car. And as you can see there, he can just basically put it anywhere he wants on that circuit, and it's working for him. He's got the big old style and Lego helmet sort of thing going on there, and he's loving it.
Anthony Billick.
Anthony Bling Billick, what looks at the blue lights.
Neons in full effect here for Anthony Billick. Anthony Billick, I spoke to in the pits earlier on, and he is just absolutely fizzing just to be in the field. He's been attending since the Drift Challenge was formed back in 2011. I like to remind you, of course, that the Kiwis won it in the first year after going 1 and 2 head-to-head in the final, with Kurt Whitaker taking it out over Dane and Templeman. He's been coming every year, and he has got to drive for the first time. There is Cole Armstrong out on track. Cole, the key to Cole is always just to see how much he's moving around in the car, Moz.
Well, you think he's physical.
No, well, if he looks smooth and he looks relaxed, then you usually get a pretty good performance out of Cole Armstrong. If he looks like he's a bit on edge and he's a bit all over the place with lots of movement, then you don't tend to get the same results out of Cole. So let's hope he's in a nice relaxed mood.
Yeah, that's right. He does look cool. He looked very happy, apart from the time he had to run the driver's briefing, and he was that point toasted. By the time he got there, because he'd been off trying to get a starter motor back for his car. Anyway, Mitch Jeffries, the local Sydney side up, slide up, like a smooth run.
I feel like Monty was starting to get a look already at the speed differential between perhaps some of the drivers that you consider would be the higher seeds in the field versus the guys who are competing locally, who are very talented drivers in their own right. But you sort of see the guys who've been competing on the international stage, guys like Crosnick, guys like Camo. You'll see the speed here just as they attack the section. They don't tend to back off as much, and they don't tend to make those good corrections there. And Crosnick will stay on the gas. Look at the angle and the smoke there, Moslin. Camo's still going to be there, see, right? That's what we saw from Camo last year. Camo will just appear there right behind him.
He did too, and I tell you what, that was the thickest white smoke cotton balls, if you like, and throwing cotton balls.
Let me throw something out there, Moz. Mick Rosenblatt is pretty keen to come to New Zealand to take on our best on home soil. So we're currently in talks to see if we can make that happen, see if we can get the Newlon machine over there. Dorsey from Newlon. Let's see how he goes here. If he's going to chase Adam Davies, or is he just going to let Adam do a solo pass here?
Davies the rotary powered 180. 13B turbo, huge turbo.
558 kilowatt. He runs MCA suspension too, Moz, which isn't that common in drift in New Zealand. It probably is one of the few cars that actually has it. Obviously, you sort of associate your Japanese brands traditionally with, I guess, the off-the-shelf drift setups, but Adam has the MCA suspension on that car.
As it came across the line there, you can see the turbo glowing red through the inner guard. It's crazy.
It's not as it's not quite as big as that one on the Carl Thompson car, though, right? That thing is, the Carl Thompson car is the size, the turbo's the size of your head.
It's a 20-litre drum.
Yeah.
Huge. Okay, run here from Mike Rosenblatt. Not a great deal of smoke, but plenty of speed. So he's got that pace there, a little bit of lock. He's not really pushing the lock, but plenty of pace. And that's where he picks it up. A gear higher. He's got the gas there. I don't know if it's on all the time, but he can hit the gas, party starter, and get a little bit more power when he needs it.
Now, this is interesting. One of the end plates is off the wing for the Daigo Saito car too. So whether that's intentional or whether that's just suffered a misfortune in shipping, it'll be interesting to see whether that has an effect. But look at the speed already, just pulling away from Blake Patterson. Look at how much of a gap he pulled out so quickly.
Did not expect to see that at all.
This is not Daigo in full attack either yet. This is just Daigo settling in.
Second run?
Yeah, we saw this last year when he was here with the Lamborghini, right? He just sort of cruised through
and then made his presence felt.
Yeah, didn't really show anyone the full hand until we got to qualifying. Matty Russell and Mia?
Let's go with Mia.
Mia?
Go
I'll defer to you as the Mayor of Tasmania, Speaker of all things Australia.
It's a huge hunk of motor hanging at the bonnet of that thing now, Betty Mears. But Matty Russell's chased him down in little 86. He's coming off the back of a couple of wins in the Vic Drift Series down there in Victoria. Big shout out to the Vic Drift crew all up here this weekend to help out Matty, the thruster, Russell, the love muscle. And can't quite get on the back of Benny Mears there, but doing a top job in the SR20 power machine. Shock works back in your board, that machine.
Yeah, Matty was one of the guys who... Oh, here we go. This is the first look at the Dimmock-driven
yes, indeed.
machine. You did a bit of research on this, Moz. So it's a
VR38 GTR Skyline engine.
The thing is an absolute work of art. I went and had a look at it briefly, but didn't get a good chance to go over it. Did you?
Yeah, I had a bit of a look at a chat. GT3576 twin turbo Gen 2s from GCG. Sequential 6-speed. That's at Albans, sequential 6-speed. GTR Skyline back end, brought to you by Camberware, Pace Innovations, Matt Stone Racing, Albans, PWR Tractive Systems, and Race Car Engineering for their Aeroflow fittings. It's Sony's favourite, it's a favourite car he always wanted to build. The only 240Z powered by a VR38 in the world. Thank you very much.
Mozzie, up on screen at the moment, you can see the Shannon stylised car show up in the skid pan area. There are 3 cars under covers, I believe. They're going to pull those off probably in around half an hour, maybe an hour's time.
The reveal.
So, the reveal's taking place up there. Michael Zumaya and his team working frantically to bring us the Shannon's stylised car show taking place in the skid pan, and the party going on up there too. I believe the big screen is on up there. The food alley, Moz, which you and I were pretty keen to go and check out. A bit of barbecue up there. I believe some Asian food.
Asian food
up there. I just call it food.
Yeah.
I believe there might even be a Bunnings sausage sizzle up there, Moz, just to make you feel at home.
I just call it food.
I borrowed that one. That's from a movie. But there you go. So that gives you a look at what the conditions are like here at night, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Sydney Motorsport Park. Moz and I have had a pretty full-on day. Moz joined Chris Diggles for the time attack call for a bit of today, while Chad Nail and Emma and Toshi were out and about, frantically running around the pits. Good to see so many of you in here. If you can hear us up on the hill, just give us a little wave. Can you, you people who are on the big screen, can you hear us up there? Or one guy scratching his nose.
Where's all my Rotary fans at? Make some noise! No one.
Donnie D, Drew Donovan.
Oh, get her up on the hard cut, Donnie D. Smashing carrots galore at the back of it. Oh, straight, mega straight.
Yeah,
so you had that right there.
They're dropping off the edge of that track there, Moz. It's the same as what we. I know why they want to do it. They want it to be really aggressive and flowing, but it's not working for some of those drivers who aren't carrying enough speed, I don't feel.
First time this car has actually driven on a track. They've had to run up and down the street. in closed street conditions, of course. First time he's ever drifted it, so brand new build. Finished. He's done 3 days straight on it, nights and everything.
It's such a drift thing, though, isn't it, Moss? We talked to the guys in the pits before. It's a drift thing.
Yep.
Let's just build a car, and we might finish it the night before an event. Let's just turn up, untested, no idea what it's going to do. Let's just turn up and just smash it off the limiter and hope it holds together.
Elon tyres, Adam Monkey trying to chase down the four-man's machine of Matty Hill.
Just about tattooed the door there of the Matty Hill car.
Pretty close, right off the track there still. It's making it ugly, as you said. Matty Hill knows his way around here. Super smooth, lady man, and go with it. Fires out the back door there.
They just drop away off the edge, and I'm just not sure that they can actually get back on the gas at the same time as the lead car, and it's creating that gap as they come off that ridge there. Carl Thompson.
Yep, okay, this thing, it was trying to twist Mother Earth on her axis with 1,400 horsepower.
It's a big car, Moz, so what you'll probably notice is that you probably won't see the same sort of fluidity scores with Carl Thompson's car, because it just looks like it switches a little bit lazier than the snappy, smaller cars. There's something like Brad Toohey's car obviously is very fluid, very flowing. Levi Clark, we know for the Exeter drifting, that man certainly can drive. 2 fingers out the window means I'm coming for you, son. Levi Clark will go with Brad Toohey. These two, I think, know each other reasonably well, Moz, so they'll be pretty comfortable to throw down without too much threat of any damage coming to either of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Brad Toohey extending into that first turn there and getting away now too, Brad Toohey, in the twin supercharged machine. The 86s, Levi Clark, I wouldn't expect him to be that far back. But Levi probably just sussing it out, having a little feel, a little test, see where it's at the moment. So a couple of big names there starting to get up against each other and feel what their mates have got and what they haven't got and what they need to do with tyre pressures and where they're dropping and need to lift. And it's all test and tune at the moment.
Moz, we haven't seen Chris Frome yet.
No, it's very true. Chris Frome with the fresh, I think the Rob White Motorsports stable this weekend too. So fresh coat of paint for Chris Frome. Obviously he'd have a crack, but there could be an issue there. I'd like to see if our pit reporter with the camera can find Chris Frome down there and find out what is going on. Chris Frome, as we look out, Michael Bonney in the C&D Motorworks top fuel though.
The other driver we haven't seen a lot of either is Al Sharker, the Shark. We saw him sort of earlier on. He did a couple of quick runs up against Camo Moat, but he's elected to park that car up tonight. I wonder, Moz, if maybe some of these guys are just saving it for qualifying. They know the battles are tomorrow night, and that's where all the money, so to speak, is. But let's have a look at how these two go. Shane Van Gisbergen, Darren Kelly. Shane Van Gisbergen initiated on that rear quarter of Darren Kelly's car, though. So then Darren Kelly falls off the edge of the track there, Moz, and that caused him to straighten up big correction there. So if we see that tomorrow night, you'd probably say that something like that, a run like that, would probably be almost an equal 0-0 maybe for those guys, all would square out at 5-5. Big mistake from Van Gisbergen on turn 1, but then a big straighten up from Darren Kelly on turn 2. So
what are we doing tomorrow night? Are we doing the one more time or one more run?
Well, look, Moz, a bit of chat about this. In the rules, it does allow for up to 2 one more time battles. The discussion that's being had at the moment, because we are on a compressed time frame, is that we actually limit it to one more time battle tomorrow. Yep. Just because the percentage of battles that go one more time and then go one more time again tends to be quite high. So pretty much we want the crowd to get the show that they're here to see.
Rather than 5 minutes.
Yeah, because each and every one of these guys, as they've already said today, has to go and change tyres after 2 laps. They can barely get 2 laps out of these. For some of the guys, Jake Jones, Carl Thompson, etc., struggling really after 1 to have enough grip to keep going. So each time there's a tyre change and it drags it out. So interested in a punchy show. Look, I want to beat your number. I'd love to see, we had 10,000 last year. I'd love to see 10,002 this year.
Oh, a couple more New Zealanders lined up here now. Mad Mike up against the Cole Trickle machine, Cole
Armstrong, the Evergreen Tyres machine. Shout out to Nan Sue and the team from the Bling Company in New Zealand, who support myself with my burgeoning speedway failure.
What is the Bling? What is Bling?
Would call it a career, but when you tend to just roll over a lot, it's not really a career.
Got to start somewhere, Tiger.
You do have to.
Say it's the Bling what?
The Bling Company, Cole.
Bling Company. What do they do?
The Bling Company does wheels and tyres, Moz, but we are, of course, at the Yokohama World Time Attack Challenge, so it's unfortunate that we have to mention certain sponsors like Evergreen, but they do tyre rubber.
There you go, the Bling Company, I like it. Here we go, though, ladies and gentlemen. Mad Mike on the lead-out run, trying to hunt him down there. Cole Armstrong up to turn number 2. Armstrong makes up a bit there, but has to straighten. Drop down off the concrete now. Oh, big sparks from Mad Mike. For the flames at the bonnet, a couple of flames there.
I feel like that car might have maybe an under tray on it because it seems to produce a lot of sparks just as it goes across that road. There we are up in the food alley, up in the... Right.
Dogs rolls, that looks all right. So
Mozzie, you're foaming at the mouth, mate. Are you hungry?
Oh,
Are you hungry? You want to head down to the skid pan. You need to get to the skid pan now.
Why wouldn't
get
you want
yourself
it?
a feed. Should we send our faithful production assistant Squeak up there to check out the barbecue, check out some dogs? I wouldn't mind a couple of dogs.
Couple of dogs,
maybe a couple. I saw some Mexican tortillas before.
Not any quesadillas. Yeah, no, it's the place to be if you want to get a feed. Anyone up there on the hill, if you're hungry, come on down. And that's food up there.
There is a big screen up there too.
Big screen here. Of course, the big reveals coming up at the stylised show on the hill. And of course, if you're the drifting pits or even working in the pits on some World Time Attack cars, get up there with the skid pad and hook up some of that wild. It's a worldwide feed sort of thing.
It is. Yeah, there are also DJs up there, Moz, if you want to go and get your dance on.
Yeah.
The 96.1 DJs, I believe, are up there at the Shannon Stylised show.
DK the DJ.
DK the DJ.
Get him up there later on.
We've got a DK. We've got DK the Drifter. We actually got 2 DK Drifters here, but one of them's Darren Kelly, the other's Drift King, Keiji Sech. I always struggle to say it. I can never get both with Suchia. I can get Suchia out, but I can never say the first name properly. I struggle, Moz, I struggle. There they are. Hello, boys. Can you hear us yet or not? You can hear us, sort of. Denzo's just ignoring us.
Denzo's fucking queen wave.
We probably need to turn you up a little bit, Toshi. We can't hear what you're saying.
Well, I'm not saying anything. No.
Oh, there we go. Hello. There we go. We can hear you there. DK looks hungry. Is he keen to head down?
We can't hear anything when the cars go by right now. So, right now, obviously, we got Denzo and Drift King here, and we're obviously watching the qualifying practicing. Got a little bit some glitches up here, and we can't hear you guys as well as we want to. But so right now, waiting to go through the practice.
All right. So there's a DJ on screen, Toshi being shown down here in the Shannon Stylised show area. He's getting his groove on there, Mozzie. Looks like he's been on the Red Bulls. There's a steady crowd starting to build up down there. Bit of food on the go. We're going to send our faithful assistant over there to grab us a couple of snacks before qualifying kicks off. You might want to grab some food yourself before qualifying gets underway here. That'll be in about half an hour's time. We'll be going Moz back-to-back runs, which has put some pressure on the drivers. They have to go around and do concurrent runs, which is new for the New Zealand guys. They're not used to doing that. They're used to doing one run, parking it up, seeing what the rest of the field does, and then having another crack at it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see who sits it out F1 style and waits to the end to have a crack, or who wants to go early so they can get back and have a bit of work on the car.
Talking to a couple of the more seasoned pit crews, they sort of said they felt that they had a line that they thought would work, but they wanted a couple of other guys to go out and just set the benchmark and see where those scores landed before they were willing to commit. So we know that there's a bit of strategy that's going to have to come into play. We are what are we looking at, Moz? With 30, was it a 35 car field? So we've got to whittle it out a little bit. We know that Dylan Woolhouse is out. And we know that, unfortunately, Rob Arbolino wasn't able to compete either. So I think Abs and Jabs and Shabs are promising to cause some sort of havoc on the hill tomorrow. So,
yeah. I expected Shembry to be here. Where's the Shembry?
Well, look, Shembry's here somewhere. He did volunteer to be a guest host, but unfortunately there are standards.
Well, that's exactly right. He's been on fire with his commentating lately. That's Scotty Shembry, but should be on the track. I like it when he drives. Speaking of like when they drive, I like this guy. I like him a lot. The JDI Industries backed machine of Matty Russell out of Victoria. Vic Drift winning it 2 rounds. And, she's all gone wrong.
You did that, Moss. That was completely your fault. A little bit too excited there.
Mattress Russell. Russell in the bushes. Good looking car though, eh? It's pretty cool. I didn't like it when it used to be that cream colour. I used to tease him in the off-white, the cream, the beige, the ivory. And then he put those stripes up there. It's like, yeah, I can handle that. Yeah,
Yeah, Shembry's here. Yeah, I've seen that he's gone live from the hill.
Lovely. Cheers out to Shembry and the whole crew there from the Blaze unit. Okay, Benny Meir on track at the moment with the LS powered machine. Smoke on out the concrete section he goes now. Aims it up, a little bit shallow, too shallow. Has to bail out there as it comes up to the clicking point number 3. And out the final turn. So Benny Meir still trying to find that optimum line. You know, once you've got that line, you come into qualified, you can nail it every time. But what was that?
It's Adam Monk, the tyre barbecue entry, trying to extend the gap there over Drew Donovan, Donny D in the Hucklon Suspension Supra. Just dropping off line there. Drew Donovan seems to really be struggling with that second corner there, Mon. He just keeps getting the car off balance there and he just can't find that nice line. I do like the flames though. I like the flames out the bonnet a lot.
Yes, indeed. You've got to have your wastegate at the bonnet, otherwise take it home if you've got a turbo. Carl Thompson, not big on sponsorship.
Yeah, good to know that there are a lot of Kiwis tuned in. Moz, getting a few messages coming in. Shout out to Daniel Smith and the team watching back in New Zealand, and also Alex Salter is tuned in as well, and Kat Benson is still watching as well. Kat's still suffering a bit of FOMO, missing out here on World Time Attack, and we'd love to see Kat back for 2019 maybe.
Yeah, we miss that back in. Hello to all my Kiwi mates. Can't wait to get over there in April next year, hooking with some of that big fish.
That's a solid run there from Carl Thompson, looking much better there in the GSS backed entry. So Carl does have a few sponsors on board, the GSS, Whole Racing backing him, and of course Curran Brothers Racing. Brett Curran recently relocated to Sydney and looking to make big moves in the drag racing world over here on your slightly stickier surfaces, Moz. You guys have some flatter, stickier
bit of VHT going down. Yeah, that's the CBR Garage GSS, which is the Greenland Speed Shop in Auckland.
I want a glow stick. I want a glow stick. They got glow sticks up there.
I just want a hot dog. Crew, Barry, Brent and Gaz there working on the car for Carl Thompson, the Fat Boy drifting Lexus. I can call him a fat boy because I'm a fat boy.
Matty the Ladies Man Hill and Brad Toohey.
Yeah, super impressed with Matty Hill since he hit the track yesterday, and he's been holding some solid lines. And another one of those dark horses, I'd say.
Their back tyre flat, Moz? Their back tyre on Matty Hill's car's flat, isn't it? It looks like it's DB. That's flat, isn't it? Or it's not holding much air if it... oh, maybe it's just the angle it's sitting on there.
Maybe he's running 22 Sicko Bro, 22 inches. 20 series tyres, liquid straps. Brad Toohey lights it up through the final turn, gets it right up on the curve. The Achilles Radial Twin Supercharged LS 86. Wow, that's good flames at the back. Smash Carrots coming galore at the moment. Wow,
a little bit of celebration there from Brad Toohey. Happy with that one as we see Darren Kelly and Adam Davies lining up there. The Tauranga lad up against Mr. North Shore himself, Darren Kelly. Now, does sound flash. Darren also responds to the name Moneybags, quite well known for really long arms, and apparently put his back out once lifting his wallet.
Side skirt flies off the car there, put his back out lifting his wallet. You're not coming out with some gold.
I'm trying, Moz, I'm trying. It's been a long day already. It was very hot. We had that big crew of, it's the... Yeah, side skirt's blowing well off there for Adam Davies. So
end up being a whole drop tyre, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But,
Michael Bond and Scully, the boys down in the pits there, will have a little bit of work to do there to tidy up the Adam Davies car, but they won't be too concerned about that. Drifter's best friend, Moss, cable ties.
Yep.
Cable ties and duct tape. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an engine probably held in by cable ties somewhere down there. Shane Van Gisbergen, Darren Kelly, look like they're going to go head to head.
Yeah, the MCA suspension, 370Z there. Forsberg was down to drive it last year, but had some engine problems. Now we've got the gears back in. Shane Van Gisbergen found about every way he could to lose Bathurst last weekend. The poor guy, he was odds on. I'd put a cash on him too. Okay, sticking with him, it's Kelly though.
Yeah, Darren Kelly will go with him here. Darren Kelly's got plenty of speed, plenty of grip there. Darren Kelly goes back off the back of the track there, but he managed to keep it going there, Moz. He did fall off, but he didn't get too much there by the MCA suspension machine there right until the end of the section there. Deceptively steep, Moz, up that hill. Really hard to see on the camera as the camera angle is shooting down at the track, but it is deceptively steep as the drivers go up through what is actually turns 16, 17 and 18 of Sydney Motorsport Park here. The Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge for 2017. Solid international field, Moz. You and I calling it the most evenly matched field ever that we have had here. And I haven't met anyone yet who's willing to pick a likely winner.
No, there's too many could win it. That's the thing. That one of them on screen right now, two of them in fact, but one of them, Camo Mode, would have to be going in as one of the hot favourites. Finished second last year, I believe.
Third, I believe. Third. It was Mick Rosenblatt, Rob White, Camo Mode third, and was JB fourth? Was it JB? JB in fourth place.
Yeah, so very interesting to see here. Camo Mode is skipping away from the SR20 powered machine of Anthony Billick.
Yeah, important to point out here that, of course, Camo's on the 265 semi-slick, Billick is on the 235 wide tyres. So a little engine versus a big engine. So probably, I'd say, 250 odd horsepower difference between those two cars.
Oh, speaking of difference in horsepower.
Oh, let's see what Fink does. So Fink will know that we called Rosenblatt the best chaser in the... Oh, okay, they're going to separate them out there. I would like to see what's going to happen there. Let's see who Fink waits for, though. Let's see if Fink wants to have a play with somebody else. Rosenblatt, I did discover last night, Moz, apparently a national level karter.
Yes, he was indeed. Back in days when I used to do a little bit of billy karting myself, a little over kilos ago.
Probably explains the precision, right? He's very smooth, very consistent in terms of his line. He just goes and hits his marks. He's probably similar to, for a New Zealand comparison, he's very similar to Kurt Whitaker type driver, who obviously we've seen over here in Australia. He's going to do it again. Fink's going to throw it backwards off the track. We came out and said, Moz, that Luke Fink was going to give us the most colour either way. Yep. He was either going to win it or he was going to do something spectacular. And we'll go and interview Luke after this and just see what he actually has to say, because I'm sure he will have some sort of wonderful stories about what's going on out there.
Yeah, look, he's just got to send it. 230 kilowatts. You know, it's not quite enough there against his field, so he has to rely on his bag of tricks. He's got to go deep into the bag of tricks there, like Felix the Cat, and see if he can dig something out, which means being aggressive, throwing the car at the corner, as he's doing. See now, Josh Botcher there in the Botcher GT Radials machine. Sounds sweet as he's right on point too. Look at that. Out over the curve, doesn't unsettle the car, sits really flat, picks up the curve on the next one. That is textbook there from Josh Botcher, the GT Radials car all the way out of Queensland. And he's holding on to that.
I think he's odds on for a top 6 qualifying spot at the moment. Mozzie's looking real strong there. Let's see whether Mad Mike picks up the impact on this one. He's sort of played it safe the first time out. Let's see if Mike has something special, because he's probably only going to have, I'd say, one more lap maybe of practice, and then we will be going into that qualifying, of course. It would be close on 10 o'clock maybe back home in New Zealand. So shout out to those of you who are joining us on the broadcast. I can see that the Team Jenkins Motorsport team, Troy and Ben, are tuned in, probably no doubt up to no good. Some sort of Snapchat story going on there in the TJM headquarters.
There wouldn't be too many people in Dave Steedman's town.
No, in Dave Steedman's retirement village. I did actually hear Dave Steedman and Rob White comparing Zimmer frames earlier on.
Oh, you went there.
I can go there, boss, because I'm old.
You can. Now, Matty Russell actually making a meal of that first corner. There was Messi in the Welders bench, but now gathers it up, starts to hunt down Mad Mike, but Mike is gone like last week's pay. He's out of here.
Matty Russell's done more laps than anyone else, right? He's just kept going because he's got about 3 horsepower, so his tyres are still good.
That's what his aim was. He said, I get my money's worth out of doing as many laps as I can. And I said, mate, if you can't win the event, win the crowd. All right, you have to do something specky.
All right, let's see what Bonnie's got this time. Bond slide Michael Bonnie with the, what is it, 800 horsepower we decided underneath the bonnet.
Oh, Matty Hill. Oh, sorry, Matty Hill.
Matty Hill Performance 2JZ. I think Matty's about 600. 700, yeah. So at that level, it's more about the grip and being able to get it to the ground. Matty Hill nice and smooth there over the edge of the concrete. Matty Hill looking on for another strong qualifying performance, Moss.
Yeah, indeed. He'll be one of those dark horses I mentioned yesterday. I took a few notes in practice last night. I'll run through a few. Only last chance I had, but only quick notes. But we had
artistic shot here from the start-finish line.
We had the formats. Not bad, plenty of speed was what I had down for Matty Hill.
That was the artistic fade in there, was made popular recently by mountain biking DVDs.
Yeah, great flash. I was supposed to look at my book, I missed it.
Also known as anyone with a DSLR who can afford.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, Team Tyre Barbecue, Newlon driver Adam Monk drove all the way from West Australia, and that's probably further than New Zealand, and a little bit wide there, and he has to bail.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be lucky to keep that one on track there, Moz.
Yes, he's got a redneck yard sale.
Just lost, I think, in smoke.
getting a few messages through there, I hope they're all...
Yeah, it's basically
rated.
New Zealand. Look, it's completely Catherine Benson just suffering FOMO, to be honest. At the moment, she's currently threatening to take over Andrew's car and entering the Drift Challenge for 2018. She's that keen to get over here. She wants to jump into Andrew's car, give drifting a go. How did our female competitor go today? Was Sheridan?
She improved her time. She had a ball. The biggest smile in the pit. Sheridan Budsworth, if you're listening out there, so proud of what you did today. All the way from Tassie, fulfilling your dream. I'm starting to well up. It's too much for me.
Well, you are the Mayor of Tasmania.
So to see someone fulfil a dream, not to compete at this level against these people, that's what she's done. And, as the old ad used to say, they said you'd never make it, but you finally came through. Well, that's what she's done.
Well, look, everything I know about Tasmania, Moz, comes from either you or the television series Bogans. So that's basically what I base my judgment on. So Sheridan's obviously doing pretty well to have escaped.
Yes,
obviously
indeed.
some sort of release program from Tasmania.
Yeah, it's a release. You've got to apply for the release, of course. And, so we've got the comms through to the judges box now by the sounds of it. A bit worried about Denzo putting the windows up in the judges box with his tongue.
Right. Denzo up to no good. The boys must be starting to get ready for qualifying because it will be happening shortly.
Yeah, indeed. Struggling for angle, Shane Van Gisbergen through that turn one. He's been super straight all night, and he's going to have to pick that up if he wants to get a good qualifying position. Whereas Sato firing hard out front there, and that Lexus 1,000 horsepower.
It's fast.
Monster Energy Silico back machine.
It's just fast though, isn't it, Moz? It just clears off.
Yep, that's the first thing I noticed. The first time he hit the track,
jumps on the. Here's Chris Froome for the first time.
Chris Froome. Okay, Chris Froome, as you mentioned, he's got a bit of steam, maybe tyre smoke from the cook pad. Has put a bit of heat into the Firemex machine. On-track drift also supported. He's one of the on-track drift drivers or instructors, if you like, up there in Queensland. And great to have Chris O'Frome back in the seat. First run for tonight. The R34 looking super smick in its stealth.
Is he going solo though? I think is he indicating out the window it is his first run? I think
he was waving to us.
No, I think probably first run it might be a little bit hard to try and chase someone like Camo, who's been out there, done half a dozen laps, and say hello to Abby and little Archie in the pits. I saw them running around today in their Moat 12 shirts, so I like how people have picked up on this, using children as a marketing ploy thing. We also saw, what else did we see down there? The Little Yates. Little Yates.
Yes,
Little Yates, he's going to do an interview for us tomorrow. Bex promised me that, so we'll see how she goes on camera. She was pretty good at making her way around the driver's briefing room earlier on, navigating the furniture.
Yeah, this is the
Froome, I think.
Competition clutch.
I don't think Frome's got a lot of heat in those front tyres, Mon. I don't know if you saw that sort of lock up as it kind of came into that corner there.
Yeah, it sounds strong though, doesn't it? It's a little bit, probably a gear too low there at the moment. You're up one more cog, possibly get those tyres charring a bit harder than that. But first run, as we said, for Chris Froome.
Good side up, well worth doing. Oh, here's Fink. Let's see what he's up to. Fink will stick it on the door.
Yeah,
Is he going to stay on the
door.
track this time?
His middle name is Wheel on Door. It's Luke Wheel on Door.
He's going to keep going, and he'll probably go right to the edge of the track there. Luke Fink is about 400 horsepower short on Camo Moat. He's stuck right with him. So Luke Fink going to be an absolute weapon here this weekend, Moz.
Yep, he's just going to have to send it. There's no doubt about it. The only way he's going to get through.
Andy Worth.
I like this little car. It's a short wheelbase, nimble, think quite wide track on it. Massive air cleaner up through the bonnet of the LS power under the bonnet. Injected throttle body, I'd say, underneath that big air cleaner as Andy Worth picks up the line nicely, fires it out of the final turn. Now Andy Worth putting down a show. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a classic run. Just for the judges.
How do you reckon our cameraman's going up there in the... We're in the pits. There we are. There's Mad Mike Whittett just rehydrating there. A couple of the Harkon suspension team. See what's going on down there. Okay, so Jake Jones has maybe got some issues there. It's Jake Jones doing some descriptive explanation. Cole Armstrong underneath the bonnet there. So that's Jake Jones, Mad Mike Whittett, Darren Kelly, Cole Armstrong on the screen there.
I'm not liking that. We've only seen one run from the Squid, the drifting cephalopod.
Well, it is the debut for that car. So sparks there from Mitch Jeffrey.
Bonnet shouldn't be up.
Competition debut for that car.
There's no way the bonnet should be up on that machine there, the way they're looking. So now that classic drift driver thing with that like to bend the body, twist the hand.
To be fair though, Moss, to be fair, as much as we're probably scaremongering at the moment, it is Cole Armstrong that's underneath the bonnet. It's not one of Jake's crew, so maybe nothing too major there. Bo's car looks like it's just being cooled down pre-qualifying. Carl Thompson looks ready to go there. Carl just rehydrating in the car. Adam Davies. No, it's Dave Steedman throwing down on track there. The problem with these matching liveries, it sometimes throws you off a little bit as they emerge from the smoke, and you can't tell which is which if you can't audibly hear the car. As soon as, of course, you can hear the cars, you can tell the difference between the RB30 and the S13 of Davies with the 13B underneath the bonnet.
See if the cameraman can swing around to the front of that, too late. That turbo on that thing's got a 98mm inlet, which basically means you can feed my thigh into, or maybe my calf.
Yeah, I'd go calf there, Miles. We might be getting a bit adventurous. Speaking of adventurous, Matty Hill going right with Drew Donovan there. Drew Donovan takes out the inside clipping point cone. Matty Hill sticking with him though. Matty Hill finding some form here, Miles, and there will be some happy people up there on the hill. Matty Hill, a local Sydney boy, he will have some fans here.
If I was going a betting man, I'd have to have him each way, that's for sure.
Camo.
Bit of over temperature there for the camo.
Yeah, Camo just cooling things down, and there's Abby next to him.
Camalicious, as they call him. Or do they?
I don't know. I think you might have just maybe invented that one there, Moz.
Camalicious or camouflage. But, yeah, there's a lot of overheating problems still going on. So a bit of water spray across there where the fans are blowing on it. Fuck up your wet hand and blowing on it. It cools the car down. But a camo mode's car, you eat your breakfast with any part of it.
Michael Prosnick on the screen with chase there coming from Michael Bonney.
Yeah, Pros there, Supreme Caravans, back gear, wheels, machine, out of Victoria. Remember the Dewar Motorsport engines, one of these wild speedway sport super sedan
What
type
have we
things.
got going on here? We've got the front wheels off the Al Sharka car, the Link ECU backed entry for this weekend. See if we can get a look, maybe if the cameraman can get in there and see what the Sharka team are up to, as we see Joel Dimmick about to take his second lap.
Yeah, this is the Camberware backed 240Z with the VR38 over the bonnet.
It's not happy, Moz. I think that car's going to struggle maybe to take part in qualifying, although we have had word that maybe we might have a couple of cars out, Moz, so Joel Dimmick might get lucky there maybe and just squeak himself in maybe in 31st, 32nd position there.
It hasn't been on the rolling road yet either. It's only got a bass tune in it.
Drew
and
Donovan.
You wouldn't want to lean on it too hard.
It's Lunchy on the screen. Hayden, his faithful crew chief. Drew Donovan, does he look all right there? Does Donny D look pretty happy there? I like the pink cage is quite manly too, isn't it? Of course, being Jody's car.
Jody would look good in it, yeah.
Jody does look much better in it than Drew does, yeah. Jody's up on the hill. Hello, Jody.
Johnny D, the EFI and turbo-backed Super with Harkon suspension.
Yeah, I feel like Daryl Turk will be here somewhere as well, up to no good. Turk, the man behind EFI and Turbo. Darren Kelly machine looks like it doesn't need too much more work. Cole Armstrong's crew, Avon and the team working pretty hard there. Mad Mike's car looks pretty relaxed there in the pits, doesn't it, Moz? We don't seem to have a lot going on. I wonder if should I head down there, Moz? I'll go and see if there's a mic down there. We might be able to get a few words from the boys and see if we can find out what their qualifying strategy is going to be. I'll get Squeak maybe to take us down there, or Diggs, or maybe I'll just grab the keys for the cart and I'll head down there and see if there is a mic. Yeah, I'll go and do that, Moz? You're happy to?
Hey, yeah, I'll anchor here, no worries at all. Talk up the MCA suspension. Look at that V8 Nissan motor there with the throttle bodies, that blue trumpets out the top there, making some big numbers. Shane still struggling with that turn number one, though, just not quite getting the angle and smoke on early enough. So a little bit of work to do there for the great SVG. Of course, we do call him Australian these days, but he is a New Zealander. Turbo Smart backing aboard there as well with the MCA suspension. MCA suspension hammerhead today, going a 121.5 in the World Time Attack, and absolutely blew everyone out of the water. I think we're around about a second and a half quicker than last year. And next level, we're talking late in the day. It was rather hot as well, but they laid it down hard. The MCA hammerhead crew there in the World Time Attack Pro class, setting the lap record even further down. This is Josh Coote's car, though, son of Murray. And it's like Mike Rosenblatt in the crowd, but it's not. It's got a good beard. And the crowd on the hill, hope you're enjoying yourself up there at the moment. Shout out. Where's my Rotary fans? Can I get some Rotary fans out there? Any Rotary fans out? No noise. What about the V8 fans? Where are the V8 fans at? Not so much. Okay, so Woz is headed down to the pit area there to try and get some goss on what is happening. And Link ECU machine there, evergreen tyres of Cole Armstrong up in the air, bonnet up with some E-shoes. Go back to the Shane Van Gisbergen 370Z out of the MCA stable in Queensland. Josh Coote, the owner of the car, he's running in World Time Attack this year in, I believe, the Open class in a 86. doing some good times out there today as well. The pit area here at Eastern Creek, of course, tomorrow is day number 2 of Yokohama World Time Attack here in Sydney. And if you're interested to come on down, there's still tickets available. Come on down and get amongst it. Of course, we'll go right through tomorrow night to around about 10 o'clock. So it's a big day of action starting at, I'll tell you when it starts, but around about 9 o'clock mark. And we'll be getting underway tomorrow for the Yokohama World Time Attack. And, of course, lunchtime mayhem madness going on with the Flying 500, Gran Turismo displays. And we've got the JGTG, the Japanese Touring Car Show. And, of course, the crowd favourite Mazda 767B quad rotor Le Mans car doing laps, which is just a noise you've never heard before in your life that comes out of that thing. And probably the coolest noise I've ever heard in the world, a 4-rotor pulling around about 9,000 revs. So it looks like the end of practice here now for the 2017 Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge here at Eastern Creek. The crew's all back in the pits now. They've got their setup. They reckon they got the tyre pressures right. Hope they got their line right. And we're going to send it shortly for qualifying. And as was said before, it's back-to-back qualifying. What we'll have is the first car will do a run through. They'll go right down through turn number 1 and back to the start line. Meanwhile, the second car will be underway. That'll go round and do its second run. So it'll be, each car will have a car in between as they complete their roll-down lap. No stopping in between, which is big because normally there's a bit of a stoppage in between to change tyres, talk to the crew, see what the other guys are doing, what the judges are handing out. So whoever goes first is probably going to be at a disadvantage, if you like, over the other guys out there. So interested to see who goes up first, if anyone does, who holds back Formula 1 style and hopes for that last-minute run and nothing going wrong, of course, and the number 1 position. Yes, thank you. Okay, we're going to throw to a quick commercial break, but Wazza gets the news from the pits, so we'll be back to qualifying very shortly. Join us for the Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge.
I practiced on Gran Turismo my whole life, and then I got the chance to race for real. I went from an Aussie post driver to GT Academy, then to professional racing. My dream has come true. That is why I'm so excited for GT Sport. Dynamic 4K HDR visuals and PlayStation VR is the closest you can get to being in the race. Except, actually racing. The world's greatest racing game is back. GT Sport, only on PlayStation 4, for the players.
In New South Wales, Kenard Tyre Rally Australia. Let everyone know that it's Supercars Co-Tyre Newcastle 500. Liqua Moly Bathurst 12 Hour. And Southern 80. To find out more, go to visitnsw.com.
We know you have the need for speed. Let MotorsportsTV app feed your addiction and fuel your passion. Monster crashes, live coverage, TV episodes and news. Don't get left behind. Strap yourself in for one hell of a ride.
Does your car need brakes, clutches, boost controllers, or wastegates? Go to highoctanedirect.com. Do you want an ECU, intercooler, inlet or exhaust manifolds, or even a raised gearbox or dry sump kit? Go to highoctanedirect.com. Do you want the best prices, fast delivery, and good honest advice? Go to highoctanedirect.com. Race-winning Aussie performance parts shipped direct to your door. highoctanedirect.com. Whether you are in the USA, Canada, UK, or anywhere around the world, go to highoctanedirect.com.
Here we go, fans. Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge qualifying for 2017. On the start line, we've got Luke Fink all the way from Queensland, driving the 230 kilowatt SR20 AE86, his own personal car. I did a bit of work to it last night to get it ready to go, but a bit of clutch drama, a bit of rear guard drama. It initiates out wide, holds that high line, turns the smoke on now. A little bit of a handbrake run there to get through. Turn 2, straighten up big, straighten up from Luke as he sends it hard into the final turn. Smoke on from the little SR20. And that's not a bad run from Fink, but one mega straighten up there coming out off the concrete curb. That's going to cost him a bit with the judges. Let's see what the judges have got to say about that one. Just waiting for the judges to come through. There's Danny, DK, Toshiyama. As we go. A little secretive here. Vahumis looks very serious. Denzo, are you okay? You're not saying or doing anything funny. Okay, the scores aren't going my way. They're going down towards Brett Wilkinson, who's going to radio him through to my able assistant Damien the Squeak Grimwood here, helping me out. Bit going on there. Okay, scores still waiting to come in for Luke Fink's first run. Luke Fink, 69. A 69 for the first run from Luke Fink. And our first score on the board for the Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge here at Eastern Creek. And, of course, the 2017 Yokohama World Time Attack. 69 points for Fink. I don't think that was too bad with the mega straighten up that he had. Waiting for our Luke Fink to come back round for his second run now. Heads towards the start-finish line. And we'll get him up. So start line, there's no finish line. Out on the seagull again. Okay, in the hands of the starter. Fink now with a bit of temperature in those tyres. And then the 15-inch tyres, rather small. The Ultimate Subaru spares, Origin Labo, Cartel backing on there as well. Cartel up in Queensland coming up with the goods. Kumo tyres backing Luke Fink this weekend. So plenty of backing from the local Australians. Luke Fink and second in the King of Nations, just going back there last weekend. Kumo tyres, Shockworks, Cartel, of course, as I mentioned. Team Shaw banger. SR20 stock with a set of cams, some stoppers. And turbo 272 at the wheels in the end that got out of it. Okay, Fink sends it hard into the first turn. Now look to transition, does it well with a bit of a bum drag. Now gets the power back down. Washes right out to the concrete. Oh, this is going to be a good run. Wastegate popping flame. Fink giving it all it's got. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Luke Fink nailed it to the wall that time as far as I could see for the little underpowered SR20. I can see DK smiling. He likes it too. Wow. That's what he had to do. Luke Fink had to go hard if he was going to get any sort of result. Replay coming up for your fans if you missed that one. Luke Fink, wow. Scores going through to the judges. Here we go, Fink. Just a little bit faint there as he comes through. Now transition nice. You see the back wheel stop as he sets it up here for the big one. This is the money corner. Pushes out nice and wide onto the concrete. Gets it probably too wide. Up on three wheels. Now we come out to the final turn. Wastegate smashing Carrots down up between the front wheels. Smoke on. Runs it right out to the outside clipping point using every bit of road. And we're going to run an 87 for Luke Fink. 87 and a 69. He'll take the 87 all the way through there, and that'll be good enough to, I'd say, put him, say it now, probably around about 12th to 15th position at worst there for Luke Fink. Here we go. Carl Thompson from New Zealand, triple rotor, turbo, nitrous, 1400 kilowatts or horsepowers or whatever it might be. It's a lot. Thompson sends it hard into turn one, bit slow in the transition, very big heavy car. Pushes out nicely, judges like it out there, lots of angle, hits the clipping point there, coming out at two, fires it through the final turn. Oh, Carl Thompson has found some mega form here in qualifying. Massive flames at the left-hand side of the car. And wow, Carl Thompson on the replay, check it out. He actually nailed that, and that's probably the best run I've seen him do through here. Lots of angle, see it there, big angle on, up on the curb. The fans will love that too, through the final turn. Keep your eye on the wastegate through the bonnet as he exits the turn. Here you see flames, blue flames out through the bonnet. Carl Thompson, wow. Getting it done there for CBR, Curran Brothers Racing. GSS getting behind him as well. Waiting for the scores to come through from our 3 wise men, or 2 wise men. I don't know about Denzo. Are you wise, Denzo? Probably not so much. He's picking up my double chin. Used to have one too, but he gave up the hot dogs. Judges coming through now. Toshi Yama on your right-hand side from America. No, I can't hear you. I wish I could. I'd love to hear what you got to say. And of course, the Drift King in the middle. Wow, he's made it back out. Okay, so only with minimum practice. Jake Jones, the Drift Squid, the drifting cephalopod. Look at those cool wheels. They're pretty sexy things too. Yokohama Advan wheels, no doubt, with backing from Yokohama. This car is just a piece of art. Absolutely crazy stuff. Okay, coming through for 82.5 for Carl Thompson. 82.5 for Carl Thompson. Okay, Jake Jones. Been in China, getting some wins over there as well in the Asian Drifting Championship. See the Winters quick change stick hanging down the back of the car, very close to the ground. Wastegate, sharp and blue flames underneath there. Blue ringed octopuses coming out the back everywhere. Right out to the outside for big point. Oh, it's a good run from Jake Jones in the Advan Yokohama back machine. Runs it out to the curve, keeps it on the island. Jake Jones, my son, you've done it. What a cracking run. Wow. He's done about 2 laps in practice, and that car's done no work. First time in competition. And Jake Jones, wow, haven't we seen a wild standard tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Now Carl Thompson with his second run in the Fat Boy Drifting Lexus Quad Rotor Turbo Nitrous. Carl Thompson all the way from New Zealand, made it last year, but had some engine dramas and couldn't get a run. This time, we'll see him get a cracking run in this high horsepower, big heavy car. CBR Garage GSS, Greenland Speed Shop from Auckland back machine. 84 for the 22 car of Jake Jones with an 84. Carl Thompson in turn 1 now. Looks for the transition, this big heavy car, gets the J. Oh, doesn't mega straighten up in the middle of the turn. So it's not going to be his first run at the moment. First run was very good. Thompson will straighten up and come out there about the 60s mark, let's say, as he fires at the final turn. Once again, blue ringed octopus coming out through the bonnet. Okay, we're going to throw to the great Woz down the pits. He's gathered up Shane Van Gisbergen. Let's speak some Kiwi.
Down here in the pits, boys. Shane Van Gisbergen behind the wheel of the MCA car. It looks fast, Shane. What's the strategy for qualifying?
I don't know, just about to set my tyre pressures. Murray's doing the time attack, so I'm the engineer. What do you think?
It's a bit rough you having to change your own tyre pressures, isn't it?
That's all right. Been a bit of fun. Car feels pretty good. Just learning it, really, and trying to follow people and learn as much as I can. But feels fast, feels good, so see how we go.
I heard you winding Darren Kelly up a little bit before. You thought he was a bit slow.
Yeah, he's easily wound, though. He's precious.
All right, Shane, good luck for qualifying.
All right, thank you.
Right on. Wow, the judges sitting up there. We've got the score coming through now for Carl Thompson. 67.5 for Thompson's second run. So he'll take that 82.5 and run with that one. I think for the 87, he's holding the lead at the moment. Figure 87. 84 for Jake Jones. Jake Jones sets off now on his second run. Flames and sparks coming out everywhere from the RB-powered machine. And Jake, the Drift Squid Jones out of South Australia. Looks for that outside clipping point. Nails it to the ground. A little bit wide there, the second clipping point. Smoke on all the way across the line. The Yokohama Advan back. Number 1 driver, Jake Jones, running the RB power under the bonnet, of course, Nissan RB power. Wait for that one to come through. I think that might have been slightly better for Jake Jones there in the BMW M3. Action replay now. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is into turn number 2. Washes right out over the curb there. Wastegate popping those blue ringed octopus out again underneath the bottom. At the final turn. Wastegate glowing once again. The exhaust or something glowing underneath there as well. Something red. Okay, the People's Champion, Matty Russell from Victoria in the Shockworks race line back machine with the Burn Ward helping him out this weekend as well. He calls his crew the Burn Ward because they're always picking on each other. There's a 22. Jake Jones, 94. We have a new leader. Jake Jones goes 94 in qualifying and takes the number 1 position off Luke Fink at the moment. He's out by about a 7-point lead. Wow, Jake Jones will be stoked with that at the debut his new car. Okay, here we go, the JDI back machine and Matty Russell through turn number 1. Turns the smoke on through the transition. A bit of brake. You see the brake line on the front come on. Big straighten up, Matty. That's going to be a little expensive. Now understeer. Oh, mega understeer. And, yeah, nah, not so much steer. Not so much. But we have another run at it, that's the thing. Looked like it lacking in front tyre heat, possibly there for Matty Russell on the transition. It's just starting to get a bit messy. But, hey, we still love him. And as I said to him earlier, if you can't win the event, win the crowd. Speaking of winning the crowd, Warren Sayre, ladies and gentlemen, from New Zealand. Welcome back, Wazzo, as Matty Russell made a little bit of a mess of that one there. Just could not quite get it on. And come out the other side of it here.
Mozzie, what I can tell you, flurry of activity going on in the pits down there. The drivers seem to believe that there might be some precipitation on the way. They can feel it cooling down here. So there are a whole lot of drivers lining up to go and give this thing a real good crack out there. Did I just hear you say Jake Jones went 94?
Yeah.
Was that a first or a second run?
Second run, and it was the first one was an 84. Then with the car number 12, Matty Russell getting a 4. That's a solid 4, Matty Russell. Well done. The Burns unit boys will be loving that.
Okay, so JB's up on screen at the moment. What I can tell you, Josh Botch's team, concerned about a noise they heard in the engine, so they are frantically trying to diagnose what's going on with that car. We might see a soft run from JB, park the car up, put himself into the field. As we see Camo Moat, the Link ECU S15 out on track, the 2JZ underneath the bonnet screaming. Mozzie, he's on the loud pedal, and look at the smoke plumes.
Smoke on big time. A little bit wide on that last clipping point, and a bit of a fade sort of as he got into turn number 2. But yeah, Camo Moat, put that one in the bank. Next one will be better, I can tell you right now. Waiting for the scores to come through from our judges. The great Squeak, got to thank him for helping us out. DK in the middle. How come no one's given him a Bundy yet?
Well, look, Moz, I don't think you're actually allowed to partake in beverages as you're undertaking an official duty, but here's the DK.
That's right.
So I'm sure if somebody offered him a refreshing substance,
we did see a bit of that
polar bear on it.
The crowd came up last year.
K&N Action Replay giving us a good look at the Camo Moat machine. Denzo, DK and Toshi. I'm amazed Toshi is still alive at this point, Moz. He's been here since 6 this morning. He has worked all day. Hello, Denzo. How are you?
DK in the house. Matty Russell back for another run. But yeah, he does give it his all, that's for sure. 86 there for the number 20 car. 86 for Camo Moat. Wow, that's a good start.
Yeah, Moat solid as always.
86, that'll put him in third outright so far for Camo Moat. Sitting in behind Luke Fink and, of course, Jake Jones, our number 1 qualifier. Matty Russell, come on, give it up, fans in the hill. He loves a bit of cheering. Cheer him on, clap, whistle and cheer, as Diggle say. Matty Russell, oh, that's super wide. Now gathers it back up. Smoke on big time, the SR20 working overtime through the final turn. Russell will go through, I'm guessing, around about probably about a 50 to a 55 point run, but he's in the field. That's the main thing.
Yeah, good to know that there are a lot of people tuned in around the world. Mozzie, we're getting messages from some Irish fans, from the English as well. Plenty of messages coming in from New Zealand as well. Hello to Georgie and Simon Lee, tuned in back home. Big fans of Team DSR, and they are cheering on from Dave's retirement village as Matty Russell comes up on the K&N Action Replay. We're going to go up to Toshi. What do you got up there, Toshi?
Yes, so right now we've been watching the action, obviously putting in our scores. Let's ask Drift King what he thinks about the action so far. 今までの動きとかどういう感想ですか？
オーストラリアのドリフトグランプリはレベルが高いね。
So first off, he's saying the level of the Australian drifters is very high. This Grand Prix out here is a great level of competition.
コースのライン取りとか言ったらもう去年と違って全然みんなもうラインを通るもんね。
And so compared to last year, all the drivers are hitting the line exactly how we wanted, that we explained in the drivers meeting. So it's a really good action. What about Denzel? What do you think about it?
Oh no, how long is this going to take?
Oh dear.
Yeah, look, a lot of the cars have got so much power. There's just smoke screens. It's awesome. A lot of them are hitting the lines, hitting basically all the points that we're chasing. So I've got to watch this.
Yeah, Magic Rosenblatt out on track, the Newlon R32, the defending champion was, wow, look at that, three-wheeling.
That's a bit of rallycross action there from Mike Rosencat with the Newlon oil machine.
He didn't lift at all though, Moz, he did not lift.
He does not know how to lift, that's right. See, just a little quick, go back to these guys here.
No, look, so what's going to happen is these guys are primarily our judges, so we'll try and get comments as we can from Toshi, Denzo and DK, but they are, of course, needing to observe each and every run as we check out the K&N replay. And here it is, Moz, three-wheel, bouncing through it. Rallycross style there, Moz. Going back up to Toshi. Toshi, what have you got? What did you think of that run?
Michael Rosenblatt, 8-2, score
82 for Mike Rosenblatt, 82.
Toshi just completing his scores there.
Yes, 今のどうでした？
今のはね、アウトクリップに向かっていったのはいいんだけど、その後のインパクトがないよね。回転数が低すぎる。
So he shot for the outer clip on the main corner, and that was good, but he didn't have enough speed, and so that's why he lost a little bit of the impact. So that was sort of the judging on that. I think as we go on through the qualifying, and especially tomorrow the twin drifting, you're going to see a lot more commentating, a lot more excitement. But right now, he's looking for the precision and accuracy of the line, and obviously angle.
Yeah, I mean, most guys are hitting the angle pretty well, but obviously some are better than others, and you know, it needs to be perfect to get a high score. So it's a fast, quite a long track, you know. It's dark, it's hard to see, but everyone's doing pretty well.
Camo Moat.
A funny story there before you go on. Funny story about Denzo and the Drift King. 20 years ago this year, Denzo was in Japan, at Japan Messi, somewhere there, and he met the Drift King, got a photo with him. He's flicking the bird to the camera, Denzo style, and he told him, he said, why don't you build an 86 Drift King? And he did. That's how come he built it 20 years ago. Denzo put him up to it. Back to Camo Moat, second one after smashing out an 86 in the first one. The Link ECU. Wow, this is a cracking run, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice angle, but it didn't quite get right out to the edge there for Camo Moat. And then the big Nunji, is he going to hold this? Camo Moat.
He's got to back up an 86 on his first run, so he sort of banked himself a top 10 spot there. Pretty close.
Was fair to say we're seeing a very different DK this year as well. He is very clinical tonight. He is watching each and every movement these drivers make. Moz, when we were in the driver's briefing room before, the line that is being set tonight has been set by the DK.
It is, yeah. He just changed it all together.
Yeah, he didn't like what was proposed, and he knew what he wanted out of the drivers, as we saw the K&N action replay there, and the boys cleaning off the scoreboards. Toshi, hello, come back in. Toshi, you got your ears on?
That was a good run. We enjoyed that one. But DK is, he keeps putting decimal points in, and then he's getting yelled at. Don't put decimal points.
He's the DK. He can do whatever he wants. Let him change the rules if he wants to.
Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Taking the spot at the top of the table. Oh, sorry, second of the table. Oh, it's pretty close. 92 points for Cameron Moat. Locks himself in a second position as Mike Rosenblatt in the Newline Oils machine puts down his second run. Oh, how do you rate that, Moz?
Hang on a moment there, Moz. Let's just see what the score comes in like for Mick Rosenblatt there, because he was pretty aggressive. He had single bounce off the edge of the track there, nice and flowing, didn't really lift. We'll see how we go. I think we might. So I'm going to reckon it's about an 80 something, 88.
Maybe 82.
Yeah. See if the DK puts in any decimal points there. We might get a comment from. Maybe if we can get a comment there from Toshi, the difference maybe between the Camo Moat run and the Mick Rosenblatt run that we just saw. I don't know if you can hear me up there, Toshi. Yeah.
今の走行でちょっと違いはどうでした？
違いって
1個前の今の走行はどういう感想でした
？2本目の方が2コーナーのアウトクリップに対してスピードを合わせに来てられるよね。1本目はちょっと読み間違えてたけど、2本目の方が2コーナーのアウトクリップにスピードを合わせるようになってきた。
So the second run was much more intense. He was able to hit the outer clip, where the first one it seemed like he didn't know where he was aiming. So the second one was much more accurate, in his words.
So DK is definitely looking for that precision here tonight, Toshi.
I'm sorry?
DK is looking for that precision from the drivers?
Yeah, he is looking for the precision. He is also looking, he's not in charge of the speed angle or the speed category, but it still takes that into account. You have to have the speed to get that perfect angle. So
here's the DK, and whatever he says goes. That's how we're going to roll.
I'm down with that.
Yep, we're good with that. Speaking of down with that, Moz, you down with the Drift Jam?
I am down with the Drift Jam with Andy Worth there. Of course, one they hadn't mentioned, Matty Russell's second run, 48.5. So Matty Russell just under the 50, there his best score. Now, Andy Worth, I like the setup on this car. It does handle very well. It's nimble, but it's quite wide. Running the LS under the bonnet with the world's biggest air cleaner. He's got its own postcode, that air cleaner.
Yeah, it's almost bigger than the car, Moz. Do you think there's a family living in there? It's like the Sims or something like that. Nice speed here, a little bit too wide there, and then chops back across. Oh, and that is going to be a zero. That is all four wheels off the track there. DK won't like that from an 86. He has a soft spot for those, as we well know.
Right up on the hard cut limiter there too. You can hear it banging hard, and you start stealing spark and fuel away from an engine that's at high revs. It's never a nice thing, but That's how they roll in the drift community.
Toshi's laughing, so I'm not sure what sort of comment we're going to get out of this run.
DK was trying to give him points, but it's 4 wheels off, so he felt sorry because it's the 86. That's why.
I told you that was going to happen. I told you it a soft. I tell you what, let DK give him a 1 for it being an 86. How does that sound? Let's give him a 1.
Let's just not argue with the DK.
Yeah, Dangerous Dave Steadman.
Zimmer Frame Racing. Mimico, and there, of course, Cabelco and Ryco 24/7 Hydraulic.
Hello to Rex and the team from Mimico who are here supporting the boys. Max Muffler's also on board. Max do a lot of the fabrication work on these cars out of the Tauranga region, Moz, where you're headed for your fishing comp. Look at those flames out the bonnet, Mozes. Is there a better sight?
I am liking this. This is a good run.
Oh, the lights are aglow. I think that the flicker will be Dave hitting the rev limiter as well, is my guess there. So, Dave Steadman with the hand out the window.
Is he throwing a sharker? Is he went across the line?
Is it legit to throw a gang symbol out the window of a car when you're representing grey power? Is that right? Can you do that? Dave, you're old. Recognise your age.
Yeah, that's gold.
Oh. Well, as we try to have a good time here at the 2017 Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge, the judges are the serious people. We're the fun guys. K&N Replay is back. Let's have a look at Dave Steadman as he comes up and over the crest there. Lights are aglow. Dave Steadman out the window. Here he goes, waving to the fans back in Tauranga. There we go. Gang signs out the window. Bruce Tannock will be turning over in his Bruce. Where is Bruce? Bruce is at home. Just he will be marking Dave down for style points for the rest of his life.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
The boys having fun. Oh, they're having fun. They started. Is DK going to be dancing for us this year, Toshi? We had some dancing last year from memory up on the hill.
Steedman with an 85, of course a 0 for the 86 car there, Andrew Worth. So 85. That's not bad.
Apparently we need a bit more volume on the hill if possible. I don't know if anyone can crank the speakers up. If you can hear us anywhere within the confines of Sydney Motorsport Park, the boys on the hill would like a bit more volume up there. They can't hear us, Moz. They reckon we're not loud enough as Blake Patterson attacks the section.
No.
Is that 2 wheels off there, Moz?
That's messy, mate. Yeah, look, that was unfortunate. Had to straighten up because he didn't have the power to get the car out a bit wider there on that last left-hand clipping point on the inside. And that's cost him, I'd say, pretty well marked down to about a 15, 20, I'd say, at the most. Let's see what they've got.
I think Toshi's facial expression just gave that one away there.
It's like he's had a sour grape or something.
Toshi's screwing up his face. Yeah. He's not impressed. Hello to Ross Honor and the family watching in Taranaki. Ross and young Liam Bieber. Tuned in. Moz, you got any... where is... John Delaney? He's usually pretty good for comms.
He's away on a cruise.
He's on a cruise.
You're joking me, Rob.
Who goes on a cruise when there's a motorsport event on? Really? Andy Worth, Drift Jam AE86. Let's see if he can get some points on the board here. Needs to get at least a 1 to get himself into the field at this point in time, given we haven't had a full field of 32 go through yet. Much better run here coming from Andy Worth this time. Nice and controlled. Just got to keep this one going. Keeps the smoke off the back there. Andy, keep it on the track. 1 wheel off. Andy Worth doing his best not to chuck it all away.
Yeah, well, he did it in the first run, didn't he, grabbing that 0?
DK is clearly trying to work out how to give bonus points for the 86 here again.
Waiting for a score to come through for Blake Patterson.
Toshi's laughing because it's an 86. Dave Steadman's in the front. Toshi, can you hear us up there on the hill?
We can. I've been told to speed up the process here, and every time you talk to us, I seem to be slowing down the program here. So they said, get back to work.
That's right. God is in my ear talking to me, saying, go to Toshi. We want to know what the DK is thinking.
And then we hold up the whole program when we do that, and so I have operations next to me like, hey, you're judging today. You're not talking. So we're going to try to figure this out by tomorrow, because all we want to do is we want to start yelling, but...
Well, look, yell away, Toshi. We're okay with it.
Oh, see, back to work.
Yeah. 46 for the first score there for the Blake Patterson machine.
See what Dave's got here. Dave with that 85. Gives it. There's the big flames, Moz. Look at the flame show from the Mimico machine. That will make a great shot. We know that we've got a lot of photographers here this weekend, and there is a lot of coverage comes up online Dave Steedman a little bit wide there maybe. I don't think it'll be quite as good as his first run there, but the Mimico machine doing the job for Dave Steedman. Nice and reliable there. And Dave Steedman will book himself a place in the top 32 for tomorrow. Moz?
Yep, Andy Worth pulls a 75 with that second run.
Worth 75 after a 0 on the first run. So Andy Worth redeems himself there, Moz, as Moz goes off air for a moment just to check some information with Squeak, who was communicating direct with Brett up there on the hill. Blake Patterson, we know, has got a score on the board so far. Our number one qualifier at the moment, though, still, I believe, is the Jake Jones machine with the 94. Then we've got Camo Moat at 92. And we have Luke Fink with an 87. Looks like the top three at the moment. But we have yet to see some of the real heavy hitters in the field. We've still got Darren Kelly, Cole Armstrong, Shane Van Gisbergen. Shane Van Gisbergen, super quick. And Shane Van Gisbergen actually is down in the pits, Moz. He's giving a bit of a wind-up to a couple of the other drivers down there, telling them they're a little bit slow for his liking. So good to see SVG enjoying himself this weekend at the Honeywell Garrett Drift Challenge. Big smile on his dial, and he will be sure to put on a show in qualifying in the MCA machine. Blake Patterson, the number 44 entry. Blake Patterson, nice controlled run there, Moz. He had a score in the bank. I think that's going to probably put him a little way down the field. It didn't quite have the flow and the impact of some of the earlier runs there. Toshi's got the serious face on now. He's considering, just thinking about things. No real reaction there from DK or Denzo, so I'm going to assume sort of a mid score there, probably in the 50s there, Moz. We'll see how accurate we are when it comes through. The Pros, Michael Prosnick.
The Pros, bringing that on. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but it's Dave Steedman's second run, 87.5.
Dave Steedman, 87.5, so he improved. Good run there from Steedman. Steedman puts himself into third place.
Blake Patterson, 76 from Blake Patterson.
76, so clearly we don't know what we're talking about, Moz. I didn't think that was that spectacular, but good run there for Blake Patterson. Michael Prosnick. Oh, look at that smoke show. Prosnick on the gas.
Stewart Racing just working overtime.
Three-wheeling, Moz, three-wheeling. Pros.
Laid it down the Gia wheels.
Michael Prosnick pulling on the show. The Jewers race engine underneath the bonnet. The Pros.
That's not a 90. Oh, well,
DK has got the smile on his face.
Smiling.
Come on, Toshi. Give me a comment for that one. DK has a monster smile on his face.
Denzo's not smiling, but
he's
he never
smiling.
does.
Yeah, he is definitely pleased with that run. Definitely.
Even though it wasn't an 86. I remember last year that DK was saying Daigo's Lambo was a $200,000 car against Bruce Tinnick's $15,000 Sylvia. And I remember how much that made us laugh. So it's good to see that smile on the dial. That's the first time the DK has really come to life tonight, Moz.
Yeah, indeed, he liked that, as anyone would do. 96, ladies and gentlemen.
96 for the Pros.
Thanks for coming. Pros, straight to the top. Wow. 96, eh?
Wow. Will we see anyone top that? Can Pros top that? I don't even know that was perfect for Pros, and I think he might have a little bit more left there, a little bit more flow, but great to see it up on three wheels there. Mitch Jeffrey, local lad, the blue and yellow colours resplendent under the lights here at Sydney Motorsport Park, with a big correction there from Mitch Jeffrey, and that will be a big mark down there. It'll be interesting to see, Moz, whether that'll be zeros there maybe, or just a very low score there.
I bit him hard, but I still reckon we'll see him around about the mid-30s to 40s. Denzo just checking the eyebrows there, making sure he looks good.
The fact that Toshi is thinking about this makes me think it's not going to be zeros, so there is going to be a score there for Mitch Jeffrey. The smile's still there a little bit. Hello, DK's waving to you all. That man has not stopped smiling all day, Moz. He has been absolutely amazing. He cannot walk anywhere here at Sydney Motorsport Park without being mobbed for photos, for autographs, just for people wanting to shake his hand, and he is a true legend of the sport, and we're actually blessed to have him here at Sydney Motorsport Park. As DK's the only one paying attention up there. He knows there's a car on the track.
He's just happy next to Denzo, because Denzo helped him build his new car.
He's waving at the kids. He's okay.
Old car. Waving to the kids, yes, of course. Long-time hero of Denzo there, to DK. And thanking him very much for making him, or encouraging him to build that car 20 years ago. Okay, Pros,
number 1 on 96, Michael the Prosnik. What has Dazza got in the box for us this time? Are we going to see a 97, a 98, maybe a 99 Moz? Will we see it? He is aggressive again as the Pros. He's on a shallower line into that corner this time. There we go. Not quite the three-wheel there, Moz, but he is on it again. The Pros.
Wow, no
Look
way.
at the angle, cranking it out to the outside of the track. Michael Prosnik.
No, that is next level. That's off tap. That's madness.
There is the smile. Look at the big grin. There's the smile. He's a happy man. The thumbs are up from the DK. I think we've got some volume up on the hill now, Moz. They can clearly hear us. We are not going to interrupt you, Toshi. We know you're very hard at work there. Darren Kelly, here he comes. Nissan Nismo New Zealand sponsored entry. Darren Kelly being told that he was too slow by Shane Van Gisbergen and Bo Yates and Cole Armstrong, so he's been told to lift up his game here as Darren Kelly, the 2015 New Zealand Drift Champion. 97! 97, Moz. 97 for the Pros. Wow. He is on fire.
He deserves every bit of that too, because he puts his heart and soul into his drifting, and man, in this field, for him going 97, man, he's going to be close to being
He's probably not a more deserving driver, Moz. He trailers that car up here from Melbourne. He's been here just about every year. He's had some horrible luck, so great to see Michael Prosnik and his team, Barris, Rob and the boys, doing really well. Darren Kelly, though, has the angle cranked on there. Does he have the pace, Moz? I still don't feel like that car's carrying the speed that Prosnik had.
I think you might have picked up on that there. Yeah, I hadn't noticed until you said, but you're right. Lots of angle, lots of smoke, maybe lacking a little bit of pace.
So DK's pretty flat through this one. He's not there. He's still smiling, but he's not super happy. Is DK a fan of the R35, or is it yes or no? R35, good, bad? Yes, no? Denzo, any thoughts?
Denzo doesn't think,
Denzo's hungry.
He does not think.
Denzo's hungry.
He wants a Dagwood dog.
Yeah. Did we get any food, Moss? We didn't get anything
much
delivered to us yet. Hey, I am going to head over to the unveil of those show cars too at 9 o'clock. We'll be doing a live cross to that on the live stream. So Mitch Jeffrey out on track as he attacks the section for his second pass. Jeffrey has a score in the back, so he's in the competition at the moment. Mate, I'm still getting into that Prosnik run. The 97. What did Darren Kelly?
Darren Kelly, 87.5.
For Darren Kelly. So Darren Kelly knocks Dave Steadman down one place.
Oh, he does too, yeah.
No, actually, yeah, so one place. So he'd now be fifth with Pros going the 96 and 97 being the number one now.
That was a 24 car through there. Mitch Jeffrey with his second run. He went a 51 on his first run. Mitch Jeffrey, hard charging Sydney Sidian.
Is it an official term, Sydney Sidian?
Let's go with it.
Well,
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Me, bro.
Australians, you're all the same to me. Anyway.
Only 13 hours on the mic today. I'm even tired.
K&N replay here of the Mitch Jeffrey run. Goes up through turn 16 into 17 and then attacks number 18. Does Mitch Jeffrey.
Good pace.
Wasn't
Mitch
bad,
Jeffrey
Moz,
with a 80.5.
80 for Mitch Jeffrey. He will not be unhappy with that, Moz. Benny Meyer, can't say it properly, Moz. We'll just change it around as we see fit. Benny's got a great looking car there as he goes up into turn number 16. Used to call the inside of that Hell Corner, Moz. They still call it Hell Corner, or has it been flattened out a little bit?
Inside of that corner?
Yeah.
Not really sure. Any hell if you're Cole Armstrong or one of the Hawley brothers.
Yeah, no, I remember that that corner as well. The first year we were here, folded one of Gaz White's wheels literally in half as well. We saw that in qualifying too.
Cheese grater.
Yeah, it was a big impact there on the inside of that first turn, but they're heading for a wider line, so not as much at risk of that this year.
Many smiles from the judging house that time there from Benny Mears' big LS injected machine.
We're spoilt, Moss. This is such a high quality field.
It can get that way.
I guess if you're an average to good run, you're just not getting any reaction. I mean, we saw before the reaction to the Jake Jones, to the Michael Prosnik. We just need to see. We just need to see that explosion again. We need to see one of these guys step it right up. We need to see somebody take it to Prosnik. Is Darren Kelly going to be the man to do it? Kelly for a second run here, currently sitting in fourth position provisionally. Darren Kelly provisionally fourth position. RB 3.4 underneath the bonnet. Darren Kelly cranks the angle too far, Moz. Cost him all his momentum there. Slows him right down. Is he going to be able to link this up and keep it going there? Darren Kelly will be marked down for that real big loss of momentum there. Just cranked the lock on. Darren Kelly, that is going to cost him there. He will not top his score of 87 with that second pass. That will be it for him tonight. He will be in the field. He's going to land somewhere, I think, in the top 10. Just a question of where that will be.
Waiting for the score to come through for the number 4 car now.
K&N action replay of the Darren Kelly run. There it is.
Lots of angle. He gets more angle in that second corner than anybody else.
But it's too much.
Is it costing too much pace?
It's costing him the momentum. He needs to dial that angle back a little bit and really attack and flow through the section, and that'll give him the points that he's looking for. So he wasn't bad. The 87 was solid, but it wasn't the Prosnick level run. The boys you guys having a good time up there? You happy? Smile, Denzo. Come on, mate. I know Brett's been hard on you.
Still waiting on Darren Kelly's score to come through for his second run in the R35 Nissan machine out of New Zealand. Benny Mia with a 55 on his first run.
We're going with Mia. We've adopted Mia now.
Meerkat. It's a meerkat. Benny Meerkat.
Definitely like to see a little bit more speed here.
Yeah, that's sort of what we were feeling there, Toshi. The excitement had gone there. Things had flattened out. We saw this happen a little bit last year. Qualifying is kind of the entree, really, isn't it, Moz? It's sort of the lukewarm bread to the 3-4 course menu of tomorrow night, the 32, the 16, the 8, the 4,
the a la
the 2, and the champion.
A la carte on the menu. Oh, Benny Mia just chasing the line there. Now gathers it up, fires it at the final turn. Got to be worth points for the lights inside the wheels, though. I'm rating that.
Yeah, I like it. Nice style.
Okay, scores coming in there.
Yeah, if the spotters have got ears on, it's probably fair to say, look, if you guys can hear us, just tell the drivers to crank the speed up. That's what the judges are saying. They want more speed. They need to see that pace out there, that impact, that flowing style here at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah, that's right. A bit of pace, like the Pros had. Pros is at the pace at the moment. Darren Kelly's second score didn't get through, but I know it was lower than his 87.5 on his first run. Cole Armstrong just come off the Cook pad.
Yeah, Cole Armstrong will be wanting to put on a strong performance here. Cole Armstrong has a relatively stock motor underneath the bonnet. He's got the old girl here. He is not afraid to put a few dents on it. So let's see what comes of this first run for the current New Zealand Drift Champion. The flags are flying. Cole Armstrong into section number 1 at turn 16. Cole Armstrong, nice transition there into the entry there, Miles. Nice and flowing. Smoke coming off the back there.
Oh, just knocked him off the camera. Too quick for the camera, Cole. Slow down. Hey, bit of pace,
He's on it. Cole Armstrong's on it there, Miles.
Yeah,
So that could be a decent run. Didn't get right out early on there, but decent looking run there for Cole Armstrong.
High 80s, I'm tipping easy. The score, second score through for the 58 car of Benny Mia, the Meerkat, 55 and 55, so he's consistent if anything. Replay here now, Cole Armstrong's run. I like this. He gets it out nicely. Calf settles nicely, well set up from the shocks. And now fires it through the final section, up onto the outside clipping point. Smoke on all the way across the line there, and Cole Armstrong booking himself a spot in the top 10 scores there at a guess. Now,
Adam Davies, the younger and self-proclaimed better-looking half of Team DSR.
The mongrel. The mongrel's got the 13B turbo in a 180.
Adam a mongrel? I was just saying he was the better-looking. Oh, you're talking about the car. Oh, Moz. Don't throw me under the bus like that. I'll have a whole lot of retirees from Tauranga rebelling against me.
Look at the left-hand headlight. There's water spraying out there, so it's a little bit...
I think that's actually on the track. That's bugs, Moz. I'm pretty sure it's it's the infamous Sydney bugs, or is it actually some precipitation? A little bit of precipitation, maybe? No, bugs. Gone. Let's put it down to Sydney Nats. We are pretty close to a storage facility here in Sydney
the refuge area
has given us some interesting experiences here at World Time Attack in past.
Yeah, indeed. Can get a bit of whiff and get a bit of breeze from the southeast, or southwest I should say, but Adam Davies, no smell there, that's for sure. That car is super strong with the 13B turbo under the bonnet, 558 kilowatts at the wheels.
So Moz, how many of our field have we gone through now? How many have we still got to run?
Well, not even halfway through.
Not halfway through, because we have got this car unveil going on at 9 o'clock, so I think I'll go over there and do that, and then I'll come back and join you on the live feed of the Honeywell Garrett Drift qualifying for 2017, the Drift Challenge. Adam Davies.
Honeywell Garrett could have aboard this year.
558 kilowatts of power underneath the bonnet. The Ryco 24/7 Mimico sponsored machine. Davies with a maiden podium in New Zealand this year, and he backed it up to the second one, best season ever for Adam Davies, the up-and-coming pro out of New Zealand. Great looking car there, nice and flowing run there. Davies with the popping the flames out the bonnet there.
Cole Armstrong, 96.
Cole Armstrong, 96 to position number 2.
Wow. On his first run too.
Cole Armstrong has had such strong qualifying form, Moz, over the past season. He has just come out and smashed it. And keep in mind, Moz, that's a car that he hasn't probably driven for a year. He's been driving his GT, his 250 GT, which is his primary competition car. Is Bo the Show. What's the show got for us? We know that he has got the family here. We know Beck's here. We know the little ones here. Let's see whether Bo Yates can put in that special performance. He has done this before here, Moz. He's been the #1 qualifier, and we know that this is his home turf. So let's see what Bo has got for us in the Toyota Genuine Parts 86, the 2JZ underneath the bonnet, sporting those oh-so-pretty Hypertune parts, Moz.
Oh, they are. Hypertune is the house that makes the action here. The Toyota Genuine Parts 86 of the surgeon, Bo Yates. He's so clinical on his every execution he has. Look at that. Pinpoint perfect. Is there anything left in the tank? Yes, there is. Smoke on across the line. Wow, Bo Yates.
I reckon Proz is in trouble. Oh, I thought Proz was going to be in trouble there, but we're not really seeing the reaction that I expected there. It's just so-so from the judges. Let's have a look at the no replay there. Cole Armstrong, the Bling Company Evergreen Tyres machine. Have a look there, Yates. Clinical, but maybe just not the impact there, Moz, that some of the other drivers have had. What was the score, Moz?
Adam Davies with an 80.
Well, Davies with an 80. Davies with an 80. And
no score yet through. We're waiting for that one to come through for our 25 car. Of course, Bo Yates, the Bo Show.
Cole Armstrong will have comms in, so Cole Armstrong will know
he's banked one.
That he has banked a very good score in that 96. Now the question is he going to chuck it harder, which is Cole. That's his style.
Just going to send it.
He will send it. He will just 100% send it. Evergreen Tyres back machine. Hello to Nan and the team from the Bling Company in Hamilton. Thank you for all of your support of New Zealand Motorsport. We've got a score there, Moz, have we?
Bo Yates, 91.5.
Oh, yeah, it's 91.5. It's DK giving those half points, isn't it? It's the decimals, it's DK.
It is an 86, though. You'd think
it is an 86. It's a half a point. It's a half a point for 86. What's Cole got this?
Here's a chance for pole position, man. Here it is. Can he take it up? Here we go. He's already got through the 96. Cole Armstrong sends it hard into turn number 2. Right out there on the ripple strip. Oh, it's nicely banged on the apex there.
Oh, look at the angle, Moz. Look at the angle he's carrying. Cole Armstrong. He's looking out the window, Moz. He knows exactly where he is. He's happy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any better than the first run, but
I don't think it's going to top it.
96 is
the
still
reaction
a hell
leads me to believe it's not going to quite top the first score.
Hard to beat Proz.
K&N action replay there for the Evergreen Tyres machine. Cole Armstrong, the current champion, representing New Zealand, the flag flying proudly. You know, Cole Armstrong was a champion swimmer too, Moz.
Really?
Yeah, he's still got a couple of national age group records too, I believe.
That'd be why he's got such big shoulders. He was carrying 2 women on each shoulder before.
Well, no, he doesn't do that anymore. He just carries 1 woman now. Her name is Emily. She's a lovely lady. She'll be up on the hill somewhere.
Just gave me a death stare.
Yeah, probably.
Adam Davies on the line for run number 2 here in the 13B rotary turbo powered 180SX out of New Zealand. Ryco 24/7 hydraulic fittings there on the back guard. Mimic on there on the door. Of course, Cabelco on the front. Link ECU backing them as well. And this car is a little cracker. I love it. Balance and weight.
There's going to be some team pride there too, right? So Dave's the high qualifier at the moment with his 87. So can Adam Davies pick up the 7 points and go past his teammate?
That's a little angle on now. Smash Garrett at the back for the fans now. Lacking a little angle coming into 2. Pushes out wide now. Doesn't get as wide as some, but that won't matter too much. Across the inside of turn number 3, if you like, it fires it out the back door. We're looking at a high 80s here, I'm guessing. Wow, wastegate flames again.
Moz, look, the thing with that car is that, and DK will know this as well, having watched it in practice, is that car's capable of carrying a lot of angle, very similar to what we saw out of Cole Armstrong. So it's a pretty flat run for that car for Adam Davies. So speed probably up a little bit, the flow's up a little bit, but the angle just not quite there, I don't think, from that car, which we know can go a long way around, closer to 90 degrees.
Yeah, lacking a little bit of angle there, a bit of red under the bonnet again. .76. The second run through for the 18 car there, Adam Davies. Okay, so Adam Davies loses out there to the Steedman Machineman. And gets an 80 on that run. Bo the show here on run number 2. Whoa! Backwards entry. That's going to cost him pace. It has massive straighten up. Bo Yates won't go the number 1 tonight as he fires through the back corner.
That's an unhappy Bo Yates because he's Mr. Clinical. And he will not like the fact he made that mistake here. So, Wozzy, I'm going to head up to this unveil up at the show area. I'll leave you here to carry the rest of the show. I'll be back very shortly. We'll give you a look at these 3 amazing machines up there at the Shannon's Stylised Car Show, and then I'll be back with you.
Righto, Bo Yates there. See the angle on who's actually backwards into turn number 2. Washed off all that pace, and from there on, she was a dog's breakfast, drop pie, world was bench, absolute mess. But Bo Yates, he doesn't make a mess very often, and everyone's allowed to make a mistake. But that first run he got through there, Bo Yates, in the 25 car, he runs through with a 91.5, so still got him at the back end of the top 5 at the moment. Back to Brad Toohey on the start line of the twin supercharged LS powered 86, backed by Achilles Radials. Super angry, trying to get some traction, get some heat in those rear tyres. He sends it into turn number 1 up on that high line. Right up on the hard cut, limiter 2 into 2 now. Watches the push out wide. Gets the job done there nicely. Now looks for the apex 3, gets it. Now fires out wide, looks for that outside clipping point. Brad Toohey slightly straighten up before the finish. Could be a little bit, if anything. It cost him a couple of points. Bit of a smirk from the Denzo there. DK, he's looking very, no one's really looking overly stoked with it, but I didn't mind it. Wait for the scores to come through there for Brad Toohey's first run. Toohey driving the 35 Team Achilles Toyota 86. So you don't mind the bit through there, it was nicely, but it just lacks a little bit of angle from this point here onwards. It starts to straighten up on him slightly, not quite yet. Next shot. But anyway, K&N action replay. 88 there for Brad Toohey on his first run. Wow, that's a pretty good score for Brad Toohey. He'll be happy with that. 88 out of the 86. Shane Van Gisbergen, ladies and gentlemen, MCA 370Z. Gets a little bit wide, gets some dirt turbo into 2. Straighten slightly coming out of 2. Wow, too shallow, too shallow. Bail, bail, bail. And can't get the job done there. Turn 3. Shane Van Gisbergen backs out. Not enough seat time quite in this car yet, but a little bit sketchy coming through 2. From there on, just too shallow into 3. And down to the Honeywell Garrett final turn here at the Eastern Creek Sydney Motorsport Park. Oh yeah, out the dirt turbo hard there, scraping underneath the car slightly for Shane Van Gisbergen. Just gets it slightly wrong. One thing I say, he doesn't do things twice. He won't do it again, you'd kind of hope anyway. A little bit of understeer there as well, so lacking a little bit of front tyre heat. We'll see him spin round. Thanks to the K&N action replay once again. Mad Mike in the cook pad, getting some heat in the back of those sticky Netto tyres on the back of Bad Bull. Red Bull 1, 2, 3, Mazda, Hiroshima Racing. Sponsors galore, of course, the new body kit on there from the good guys at Rocket Bunny. High Lab sponsoring as well as Honeywell Garrett sponsoring this Bad Bull here. Mad Mike, the crowd favourites, if not the crowd favourite, down here with Tony and young Lincoln this weekend in Australia. Back once again, this whole car has been rebuilt around this competition, getting it ready for this weekend. Underway we go. Bad Bull got wings. Hey, let's let it loose. Sends it into 1. Oh, it's a little bit scrappy there for the first time through. Locks up the front wheel this time. Out wide, pushes for that line, gets the line right in the second half of this run. Second half bang on. Rev limiter lights flashing in his face as he comes around the final turn, giving it the absolute beans. And we had a 19 for Shane Van Gisbergen's first run. 19. Action replay from K&N. There's a bit of messy here. Grabs the front wheel just as he stands on the brake to try and get the back end of the car out. Sticking a little bit too hard in the back. Now he breaks it loose. Starts to wind on that Wise Fab front end there. Around about 78 degrees of angle on the front wheels. If you ain't got 78, don't bother coming. And fires it out the back door. The second half of that run was on point. Look at that shift light flashing in his face. Change me, change me. Brad Toohey with his second run now. Prestige tyre and auto back 86 with the Achilles radials on board. 95. Wow, that's a score and a half for the 1, 2, 3 machine. 95 for Mad Mike Widette. Is that right? 95 for the red. Okay. Brad Toohey back on track once again in the Achilles Radials 86 Twin Supercharge LS. Sure, there's 95 from that one. Wait for the score to come through now. Brad Toohey in the Achilles Radials 86 there, working through the second turn. It sounds like Shane Van Gisbergen has rolled through the pit area, won't do his second run, so possible bit of damage on the underside of the MCA car there from where it slipped off the curb on the cheese grater entering turn number 2. Waiting for the score to come through now for... Sorry, next run through. 91 for Brad Toohey on his second run, and 91. Well done, Brad Toohey. He'll be stoked with that. Up in the 90s. Mad Mike now. A Rotorform backing, Red Bull backed machine, international superstar and man of leisure, currently working hard at the Hampton Downs circuit in New Zealand, working with Tony Quinn. I believe he's going to build a house there somewhere over the track, running some good little drift competitions and schools there as well. Mad Mike underway. Has that Scando setup. Smoke on now through turn number 1. Nice setup into 2. Grabs the apex nicely. Now washes out wide. Super wide. Wastegate sharp and hard out through the bonnet. The flames popping big time. Out the back door of the final turn for a couple of big wastegate pops. And a 91 on that first run. Sorry, 95 on the first run. DK likes it. Smile. Action replay. Now check this one out. He pinches the front wheel once again. Just there. Doesn't cost him any time this time. Now starts to wind the lock on, power on, comes out off that concrete curb. It's a little bit wide through there, but the judges won't worry. They don't want you up on the curb. Just as long as you're within a metre or so, they said, of that inside clipping point or clipping zone, as we say. And Mad Mike, waiting for the score to come through from him. Now we've got the C&D Motorworks machine of Michael Bonney, the Bond Slide track artback car, and the first 1,000 horsepower cars in Australia. Running the nitrous on the 2JZ. Beautifully put together bit of gear. Been around for a couple of seasons now.
99 for Mike.
Whoa! Stop the bus, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Widett, Mad Mike, 99! Wow, what a turn up for the books. Mad Mike smashing it hard out there with a 99. Okay, Michael Bonney from Victoria. Track art, C&D Motorworks machine, top fueler as I like to call it. Couple of sparks hit the initiation point there. Picks it up nicely into turn number 2. Now we dropped it big time. Straighten up Michael Bonney there. Unfortunately not going to be a good score, but plenty of smoke on as he comes out the back half of the circuit. Through the Honeywell Garrett final turn. We'll get a cane in replay on that, but going to the judges, DK's got a smile still. He didn't mind it too much. Yossi's having a nod. We've got Brett Wilkinson off the side of the screen there from the organising crew here for the Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge. K&N action replay. Let's see what happened here. Michael Bonney, at this point, everything's pretty good. Locks the front wheel. That's what's happened. Pinched the front tyre. That upsets the car there. Causes a straighten up when he gets back on the power and doesn't quite get a good score there. 17 car of Bonney with a 68 for that run. Michael Bonney 68. Mad Mike on top with a 99. Wow. Anthony Ballistic Billick in the AAA Tyre Factory Halftech back car. Anyway, a bit of bling there going on with the fluoro lights, lumo lights, we call them underneath the car. That's out there for you at Fantown. That's all that's for. Up on the hard cut limiter through 1, sets it up to 2 on the transition now. Not a bad run through that part of the circuit. Billick, a local Sydney sider. Whoa! Lock, stop, self the way through turn 3. Out the Honeywell Garrett, turn number 4. And hand out the window, Billick. He'd be stoked with that for a little SR20. That's an SR20 that could and does. And a good run there from Billick. Let's see what the judges reckon. I thought I might have been lacking a bit of power, but not so much. Okay, Wazza's down there in the unveil area there of the car show. Shannon stylised car show. I've got across to Wazza. I'm not sure if we're going to get to or not. Okay, so Wazza couldn't quite make it, but he's back here with me. Wazza, you missed Mad Mike Widett with a 99.
Well, Moz, sorry, yeah, a bit of frantic activity there. The boys up at Shannon's taking care of that. Shannon's, of course, a wonderful sponsor of the stylised car shop there. So the team from Shannon's doing the introductions up there. So we're bringing you some quick pictures of those 3 unveils up there at the show area. 99, did you say, Moz? I didn't
91 on the first, 99 on the second.
Told you he meant business this year.
Yes, you certainly did. And that's what he did. Okay, Adam Monk from WA in the Newlon Lubricants Team Tyre Barbecue Twin Turbocharged LS.
That's the car that you're rumoured to be going in, Moz, in a passenger ride.
Apparently it's got the biggest seat in the field, so there's a chance I might get into 13
well,
cars.
sends the cone flying. Adam Monk did the same thing last year, got the 10 impact points from the DK himself. Adam Monk just smashing that cone out of the way, sending it flying there. Probably a little bit far offline, given how far that cone went hurtling off the track. Denzo's got a smile there. Denzo appreciates a bit of destruction of random property, I think, Moz?
Yes, he does. He's been renowned for damaging some property.
Back up to the Shannon's
What is
Stylized. That's a BMW, I think, is it?
Oh, said maybe an 86, but it looks at the back quarter.
86, 350Z of some sort. That's an S2000, I think, in the middle.
Okay, Michael Bond
Slide.
Slide, C&D Motorworks, Track Artback Machine, S15 Sylvia.
How far through the field are we, Moz? We've got probably a quarter to go.
Just a bit over half. I reckon we're 2/3 at the moment. Bling Designs also back in Michael Bond. He runs a bit of Vic Drift down there in Victoria as well. Had some reasonable results of late.
Just gone 11 p.m. back home in New Zealand. A few people still awake, tuned in. Hello to Gray Linsky, tuned in with his little daughter Emmy. Back at home.
77 for Adam Monk on his first run in the Team Tyre Barbecue Newlon machine.
Nice, nice. Apparently we're still too quiet on the hill for Mr. Shembry. I think Mr. Shembry might need to clean out his ears, or his own voice is different than Baby Moss.
Oh, I'm not going to touch it. He'll sit around the mafia and take me down.
Oh, no. They're not really the mafia, they're just the Blaze unit. Michael Bonslide Bonnie into turn number 1, about 159, 160 odd K entry there from Bonnie in the S15. Plenty of smoke there, Moss. A little bit of a waver there, just over the top of the hill.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the first run there for Michael Bonnie, but yeah, as you say, a little bit of a faint fade, something in the middle between turn 3 or point 3, 2 and 3.
Hey, Moz, Toshi, since you're on there and I missed it, what made Mad Mike's run so good, the 99? Are you able to give us some thoughts on that from DK and yourself and Denzo?
I think when we were going through, Denzo and Drift King and myself, it was a really clean run, and I think anybody in the stands watching would have, known that. All the elements were there, and I think it was just a culmination of everything.
Thank you for that clarification there, Toshi. Congratulations on still being alive and functional after a full day of translation.
Wouldn't be much left in his tank, I don't reckon, right now.
No, he's usually a man who is perpetually in motion, although, as he said to me earlier today, DK, I believe, was in Thailand for 6 hours prior to coming here. Seems to be constantly travelling these days. Anthony Billick.
Yeah, Michael Bonnie goes through with an 85 on his second run.
Oh, nice score there for Bonnie. Billick, the AAA tyre factory machine. Good to see the boys from AAA down there flipping the rubber for the teams this weekend in the drift pits.
Yeah, Billick was super hot in his first run. It's an SR20 that could, as I call it. It's working hard there, the SR20. Not many of them left him drifting anymore. Anthony Billick sticking with it and getting the JOB done once again. Billick's first run was a 77. Sorry. That's 83.5 in his first run.
83.5 for Billick.
It was surprising, mate, and it looked every bit of it. I was super impressed. Look at the angle. Look at the angle on that. That is lock stops now. Then he was switching back here. A little bit of feint in the entry. Pushes out wide. Gets that concrete area. Perfect. Now watch how much angle he gets on it here. Lock stops. Hello, boys. Nice. Nicely done. Ballistic Billick AAA Tyre Factory. Here's the Honeywell Garrett International Drift Challenge. Thanks to K&N for the replay. 85 for the second one through for Anthony Billick. 85.
See what Adam Monk does this time. See what sort of barbecue he brings.
Yes, indeed. Westlake Tyres back in this weekend, as well as a Newell on an ACM Electrical, which is, I believe, his own Adam Monk.
Twin turbo, right?
Twin turbo, up through the bonnet there, of course.
Couple of, what are they, big Garretts on there?
I think even Stevie Wonder could see them.
Stevie Wonder could see those. Oh, that was a wide entry there from Monk. See if that's upset his line for the rest of the section.
Cone flying.
No, he left the cone alone, I think, that time. Plenty of smoke there. Nice aggression there from Adam Monk. Hand off the wheel, waving towards the drawing public back in WA. See, there's the smile from DK. Denzo's got a grin on there too.
I don't know. Does he?
These guys, of course, will be playing a little bit more of a part in the commentary tomorrow as we get feedback on the battles and how they're being seen. As we know, Moz, DK doesn't like anything where there's not a high level of proximity. He basically tunes out. If you are the chase driver and you are not delivering that chase, then he's not at all interested.
Yeah, no, fair enough. He basically started drifting 20 years ago. Like, if we said something is something, that's what it's going to be.
Right. Chris Frome.
From Rome. In the competition clutch Firemax back machine.
Quite like the new grey colours for Chris Frome this year. It was white and blue last year from memory.
He's entered under the Rob White Motorsports stables, going to KDH brake pads for sponsorship, same as Rob White. So Rob White helping him out. The R34 Skyline, it looks good. Battleship grey, stealth grey.
Have we seen Rob yet?
And Adam Monk, second run. 90!
90 for Monk. He was very wide on the entry there, and he managed to carry it through. So Frome with a bit of a straighten up there. That's going to cost him his angle into corner number 2.
He's due for a bit of luck, this guy. You know, he's had a bad run the last couple of runs and puts his heart and soul, and wears that on his sleeve as well,
yeah.
Chris Frome. So hopefully he has a good result. Massive turbo on that LS engine, just single turbo.
Really shallow, though, up onto the turn number 18 there, Miles. Just didn't get it out to the edge of the track there. So he will be marked down by our expert judges of fact. I think for Monk here, just talking about that run before, the 90 there, it was that big wide entry and just that aggression, the fact he didn't lift and he didn't clean out those cones like he did the first time through. What does our provisional top 5 look like at the moment? It must be Widdett and then... Is it Widdett then Pros?
78. I think you'd be right. 78 for the second run through down there for Chris Frome. First run for Chris Frome. 78. Big shout out to the drift monkey, Pete, there on the start line. Good on you, Pete. You helped us out once again.
Yeah, boys from Drift Party as well in New Zealand. They're here at World Time Attack again. They've been taking advantage of our VIP hospitality. I tell you what, Moz, if you don't have a VIP ticket and there are still some available, that is the place I'd want to be tomorrow, because I'm hearing that there are some more rides potentially being given away. It is nice and cool in there. The food is warm. The beer is cold. It's a great place to be.
Josh Botcher there getting the job done nicely. He's looking for that number 1 spot, but Mad Mike with a 99. It's going to be hard to topple from there.
So Mad Mike is 1, and then is it Michael Prosnick in 2? Is that right?
I believe. I'd have to go back through, look a bit closer.
Or was it Cole Armstrong?
Come on, mode at 92. Yeah, I'd say Pros is it. No one second. Brad Tui's up there with the 91 as well. Canadian replay coming through.
The Shark. Al the Shark Sharker.
95.
95, good score.
The 36 car of Josh Botcher, 95. Nice work.
That'll put him inside the top 6 at the moment. I think we're going to be going to, Moz, I've got to be honest, I think we're going to go to second run countbacks for a lot of these guys. I think we're going to end up with a whole lot of scores. Wow, Sharker, he is going to end up with a 0. That's the first person to not make it round the corner.
True, very true.
We've had a really rapid run through qualifying tonight. It's good to see the guys really stepping it up. We've talked, I know we're sort of banging the same drum, Moz, but this is just such a solid field.
Yeah, sure is. It's a solid field, and like even DK said, the level's just gone up one more time. And yeah, we certainly love it, that's for sure.
I think maybe a mechanical there for Shark, and just looking at the K&N replay, something let go there possibly, Moz, as Sharker's car just all over the place, just a lot of steering impact there. Sorry, it's
been shutting down. Yeah, it's been shutting down on him. I did it yesterday 3 or 4 times, poor guy. It's very frustrating when that sort of thing goes on.
Chris Frome. Second pass for him. Frome has a score in the bank. Do we have anyone who hasn't registered a score as yet, boys?
Yes, we do. We have Diego Sato, Matthew Hill, Chris Frome's out there now, Joel Dimmick. I think we'll see Joel out there. Dylan Woolhouse, we won't. Alex Shark is out there now. Donnie D
Drew
hasn't
Donovan
been out either.
hasn't qualified yet.
And Matty Hill.
Matty Hill, Matty the ladies' man Hill.
Yes.
Hello to the ladies up on the hill.
Levi
supporting
Clark.
Matty. Levi, we haven't seen either.
No.
So I wonder if these guys are just playing it safe, because I think we're going to get close to a time limit, Moz, if we can sort of get to 9:30. Got about 20 minutes to go, 6 cars, although the guys are going around fairly rapidly with back-to-back laps. So
9 o'clock's our cut off for noise, is it? Or?
Well, look, it's going to be 9:30, Moz, because it's 10 past 9 now. So
been a long day for Moz. Very long day.
Been a long day, Moz. And it's going to be even longer tomorrow, because of course we're going 32, 16, 8, 4, 2 and 1, and then we'll bring you that final result. The promised shoey, Rosenblatt reckons he's looking all right.
For sure.
I had a chat with Mick, and he's quietly confident, but Mike Widdett would have put the cat amongst the pigeons with that 99. For him to come out and qualify that strongly is a good sign for that team, and he will be happy down there in the pits. We'll get some feedback from him, get some thoughts from him probably tomorrow morning, I think, about how that felt, that 99 run in the car.
Camo Moat with the 92 is still pretty impressive. Bo Yates to 91.5. 91 for Brad Toohey. 99 for Mad Mike, of course. 90 for Cole Armstrong and 96 for Cole Armstrong. 90 for Adam Monk. So it's pretty tight at the top. Chris Frome now with his second run through in the Rob White Motorsport R34 Skyline with the LS Turbo under the bonnet. Dab with the brakes, he's the front brake light come on there. He sort of came in a few years back. Gets right out there on the concrete, looking for that nice line into 3. Yeah, now pushing wide.
Front brake light, of course, brought in so that the judges could easily see the application of brake being used, in particular during battles and through tyre smoke, to eliminate brake checking as the sport got progressively more and more competitive.
Who'd brake check?
Although we do seem to have progressed more towards high-speed battles these days.
Okay, big news. Shane Van Gisbergen, who only had one run, of course, and came in. He had a problem. A light went out in the car, or one of the tower lights went out, and it threw him, and he went off the track, popped a tyre, came in. Because it was a technicality, they're going to give him his second run.
Look, I think that's fair, Moz. Look, I don't think anyone would begrudge him that second opportunity to have a fair run, because Bodge's car's died on the start-finish line. Is it going to fire under its own power?
Oh, yep, no, he lets it know that it's alive too. Give the beans. Tyre right, GT radial. 83 for Chris Frome. 83.
It's a good run there for Chris Frome. Nice solid performance from him. Josh Botcher looking good here. Botcher was on a 95 Mozzie. He is on the loud pedal. Look at the smoke. Very similar to the earlier Michael Prosnick run. That same plume coming out through that vented back window again. Let's see how this run is put in the books by the judges. DK has the big grin on. DK has the big grin on. I wonder if he's going to give us any thoughts on this one. He looks happy. Toshi, can you hear us? Toshi's drawing on himself. He's dropped his pen. He's throwing everything away. K&N action replay up on the screen. Botcher, aggressive.
This is good. This is really good. The radiator sits behind the back window there, and the smoke's coming off the back tyres up through the radiator and out the back there. It looks like a steam train, chucking cotton balls everywhere.
Really smooth movements in the cabin too from Botcher there. Can't wait to see how that one comes out of the scores.
So Shane Van Gisbergen gets 2 more runs, not 1. He gets 2.
So Van Gisbergen's getting a full rerun.
This is the word I'm getting from the tower. Yeah.
So did Shane get a score on his first run, or?
Yes, but it wasn't very nice. It was a 19.
Okay, so it must have. So it's completely gone out. So look, it's a good thing for Shane. That was Has that played into Shane Van Gisbergen's hands?
96.5 for Josh Botcher.
5 for Botcher, so that will put him in position 3, I think, Moss. Position 3 for Botcher. Al Sharker needs to get a score here. He's got to put this run together, Moz, or he will potentially be on the trailer for tomorrow. So let's see if Al Sharker just plays it smart here. Just tries to get it through the section and just keep it going.
This is nice.
Nice run here from Sharker.
He deserves some good luck. He's had a bad run, but Winton a couple of weeks ago at a round
So
down
I
there.
think that's going to be an 80s run, I think. Moss, that was just nice and solid there from Sharker, and he's pretty happy. So keeps it going down the hill.
Got a 2J aboard that machine now too. So,
is it 2J or is it 1.5?
It was 1. It's now 2. He tells me. So, yeah, fresh mill under the bonnet there. Link ECU aboard for this weekend. Good to see him hooking up with the Shark. Pushes out nicely here. He gets that nice angle. Nice. It's just easy. Just doing it easy right now. But it looks like when he overthinks things, it gets to a bit of a dog's brekkie. But good run there from the Shark. Thanks to K&N for the replay. Hey, here we go, Mr. New Zealand. Harkon Drive Industries backed Supra. Donny D.
Drew Donovan.
I like him.
You're a fan, Moss?
I am a bit of a fan of Donny D. Yes, indeed. I don't mind his style. Gets the job done. 89 for Alex Sharker.
That's a good run for
He'll
Sharker.
be happy with that, and that's well earned.
Happy.
Shout out there to the Sharker crew. Well done, guys.
Yeah, well done there for Alex Sharker. And as you say, Moss, good to see him having some luck here at Sydney Motorsport Park. I hope that continues on for him tomorrow. Into the battles, of course, we will be on track tomorrow, Moss. 6:30, 8:30 New Zealand time.
I thought you were in the morning for a minute.
No, not. Oh, good luck, Moss.
Thank you very much.
Tell me how many drifters are going to be here at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe getting home from wherever they've been at 6:30 in the morning. But
we'll have drift demos at lunchtime and a couple throughout the day. Some drift rides going on, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Alistair Weaver won a ride with Bo Yates out of VIP, so he'll be in the passenger session tomorrow about 10 o'clock, I think it is.
Lovely.
And then we'll have the demo again, which is always popular, Moz, in the afternoon. The boys doing the 200 plus down the straight.
What would
I still think we need to cram you in that seat there for the tyre barbecue boys. We must only have 2 cars to go, maybe, Moz, I think.
Yeah, we haven't got too many to go. We run out of time pretty quick.
This doesn't look good for Donovan.
Robbie White, we haven't seen yet.
I think we're gonna have a roll through for Donovan.
No, broken axle on the start line.
Oh no.
Oh, the drift monkey down there on the start line. Pete apparently radioed through, popped a shaft. So they're not going to fix that in time either.
Well, you can't, Moz. So because of the rules, so this is important to clarify, because of the rules, and it does state that you have to do the back-to-backs. If you have a mechanical, then you won't get that second run because you need to front up and take that second pass straight away.
Donny
so
D
that's going to be tough for Drew Donovan. See whether the judges give him a score maybe of 1 for leaving the line. We did talk about that earlier today, whether there would be scores of maybe 1 or 2 given. Drew did, yeah, he drove straight through, so I'd assume maybe a 1 is a possibility there. Matty Hill.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this one. Matty Hill, let's put it together, man. On the start line, the hopes of New South Wales on his shoulders. Underway we go. Car looks smick too, the 4-man's back machine. 4-man's, of course, big here in New South Wales drifting. Out to the initiation point. Nice, he now lights up the rears, smoke on, transition, nice and snappy. I like that too. Look how far he can push out. Straight enough. And that pushes him super wide there now. Misses the apex at zone.
He's frustrated. You can see from the body language he was frustrated in the car there, Moz. As soon as that happened, he was maybe a little bit unhappy about that run. Matty will turn it round though and go straight back out there to give this a second crack, and might be just about him, apart from Daigo Saito and Van Gisbergen. Is that how we're going to finish?
Rob White.
And Rob White. So three of the...
Levi Clark.
So some...
Diego Sato, and of course Matty Hill's on now. Joel Dimmock, I don't reckon we'll see up there. And Dylan Woolhouse, we definitely won't. Here we go into pits. What's happening down here?
What's going on down here? There's some running. There's some people running in the background there. Darren Kelly car sitting in front of us. Drew Donovan's car being pushed back in there. So we probably are going to need to get an official ruling in terms of what they're going to do here with Drew Donovan. I don't know whether the judges have a thought in terms of whether they'll give him a score, because we are running to a time limit tonight.
Matty Hill 79 in the first run.
Untidy for Matty. He'll be wanting to improve on that. So there is the Bad Bull machine, which holds the provisional #1 spot at the moment. Robbie White, Ricky Bobby.
Hey!
That's actually less sponsors on the car than we used to for Rob, right?
Yeah, Monster Energy actually pulled him out of retirement because he went down last year, didn't come back up. Motor Oil's on board there as well as the KDH brake pads, one of his new brands he's a part of. Stinking big Mopar under the bonnet, NASCAR Mopar 4. They've about 900 revs.
How fast is he going, though? He is carrying some velocity.
Wow, this is good. How do you beat a 99 like this?
I think, Rob White right out to the outside there.
Okay,
what do we got?
Denzo's
screwing up his face. Oh, what are you doing? Come on, Denzo, smile. Denzo was like an Australian Simon Cowell, but meaner.
Yeah.
He needs a Snickers bar or something. What's going on with Denzo?
Snickers. That was okay. A bit of a handbrake into 2. Oh, lots of lock.
Yeah, well, we fooled there by the speed, Moz. Maybe we were just caught up in the emotion of it. When you look at it from a clinical point of view, maybe not quite tidy enough there to see White right at the top of the tree.
92 for Rob White.
Matty Hilt, 79 first run with a few frustrations there.
Rob White did a clutch last night. It turned out to be actually the spigot bearing had let go. And after doing 8 or 9 clutches in 7 events or something, which got him out of the sport for a while, but he's back thanks to Monster Energy and KDH brake pads.
Wonder if we're able to go to that pit camera again, Moz, and just have a look if there is any activity on that Drew Donovan car to see what they're going to do there. It'd be good just to get a look and see if they have jacked it up or whether they're just going to push that back in and have a look at that tomorrow morning for Drew Donovan. Matty Hill on the track.
Lighting up the rear tyres hard down the front straightaway, trying to get some speed on. Hey, this is all right. Oh, wheel stand.
Big launch off there.
Does a Harley wheel for the fans. Out wide now, pushes out to that outer clipping point, gets the job done. I tell you what, that's a high 80, if not in the 90s.
That's it.
I went smiling though.
The thing that's unfortunate, Moz, is it actually wasn't as smooth as we'd seen from Matty all through practice.
Very true.
He was so good earlier on.
Okay, and in replay, here we go. The four-man's #1 driver, factory driver for four-man's, if you like, Matty Hill. Okay, so you're saying it's not smooth. Okay, it's a little bit of straight there.
There's a lot of wheel movement in there.
There was. He was busier than a one-handed man in a face-slapping competition trying to get the thing under control. When you slow it down, look at it like that.
I love it when you pull out those gems, Moz. I learn something new off you every year.
87 for Matty Hill.
Matty won't be unhappy with that. That was a pretty solid result there. Rob White, let's see what he's got this time for us. Rob White Motorsport 370Z with the Dodge NASCAR motor underneath the bonnet. Best sounding thing, in my opinion, in Australasian drift at the moment.
Sure is. That Mopar.
Honking the rear tyres.
Hemi, Mopar, whatever you want to call it, NASCAR engine out of the States. Oh, Ricky, you're too wide.
Way too wide. That's going to throw him off.
I don't know. It came back. He was not too late on that clipping zone.
Did you be able to, the face will tell us.
Oh,
hey. Oh, he's laughing.
Hey, bring it. Oh, DK looks happy. Yes, he's nodding.
Might be those impact points.
Denzo smiled. I swear, I saw him smile. Seriously.
Denzo Cowell.
Right. Okay.
New Zealand fans have gone to bed, Moz. It's got too late for them over there, being 11:30.
Oh, Robbie.
Aussie fans and the other international fans still with us. Not sure what time it would be in the UK at the moment, Moz. Probably early morning for them, maybe.
No idea.
Oh, cameramen are busy on the hill there.
Okay.
Some what is that? Wild peaches or something, Moz? Is that what's growing up there on the bench?
Not touching it.
No, not going to.
Not going to touch it. It was very peachy though, yes. Okay, on the start line.
Saito.
Tell us about this guy, Was.
Look, some drift guy out of Japan, apparently goes all right, has a couple of cars here and there, a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and the odd JZX 100 and a Lexus and... Did I say Ferrari? I did that. We did the Lambo.
What's he just drift? That's what he does.
So this guy basically was the best drifter on the planet. Universally pretty much agreed for 2016 was the best on the planet. So probably now you would argue that crown probably being held by James Dean currently. He's probably seen as the pinnacle at the moment, but this guy wouldn't be far off, and probably Mad Mike as well with the form he's in at the moment. But that's that big wide entry there, Moz. Again, nice speed here from Saito. Good control there. Gets back on the loud pedal. Opens it up wide. Did he fill up all of that outside there, Moz? He did
enough. He did enough. That's it.
Right out to the outside of the track there. Didn't go off. Didn't go off there, Moz. No dirt, no puff of dirt there, but no smiles there from the judges. No smiles, just quiet reflection there. Action replay by K&N. Daigo Saito back on the gas there, gave it a kick, kept it going, filled up that outside. He probably didn't get quite as far off onto the concrete as some of the other guys have.
He's come through with a 96.
96.
Wow.
Joel Dimmock's made it out, Moz.
Oh, cool.
We weren't sure if we'd see Joel in this brand new car. Joel said that he was having some mechanical issues with it, so hopefully it's going to behave and allow him to lay down a qualifying pass.
We go Albin's 6-speed sequential there, hanging off the back of the VR38 6-cylinder twin turbo Nissan engine.
There was a lot of movement to that rear wheel there, Moz, just as it came off the line.
Yeah, yes, a brand new car, just come out of Matty Stone Racing stable, and just trying to gather her up there. Plenty of grunt, understeer, oversteer.
It's going to be a handful, and I think Dimmock will be wanting to keep this on the track and keep it tidy rather than run the risk of smashing up some of that front nose there.
That's the first time it's actually made smoke
and
had a crack though, so he'll be stoked to get a score on the board, especially in this field that we've got here today. Wait for the score to come through now for Joel Dimmock in the 26 car. Levi's got cooling issues, so he's going to run last. There's the word from the central there.
So he must be going to do maybe, I think, a single pass is my guess for Levi Clark. He'll just come out and lay one down, and that'll put him in the field for tomorrow.
SVG all the way from the long white cloud, sorry.
Yeah, so
all the way from Bathurst last weekend as well.
Yeah, got in some drifting practice last weekend.
Certainly did. A few bucks each way, and he didn't quite come through for the bickies, but
it's fast. This car is fast.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and he's a long way out there, that VK56. Harming, look at the angle from Van Gisbergen, fills up the outside.
Ooh.
Shane Van Gisbergen, nice and smooth. Is he going to fill up the outside there, Miles? Look at the smoke plumes, the MCA suspension machine. Van Gisbergen.
I tell you what, I am shocked. I didn't know he hadn't done it, but yeah, that's good.
Smile, there it is. There's the smile. Hello, DK. You happy? He's happy.
He's very happy. This is going to be a good score. Light went out on turn 1 in his last run, so
he was onto that lock and that angle early, Moz.
Now watch how much he moves the wheel here. Just a couple like a sprint car drive. Nick. Oh, you know about that. Nick.
Yeah,
just
very,
a little feed.
Small movements. Apparently, learn to do that properly, and you don't end up on your lid, Moz.
I reckon you're doing pretty well, man. It's a bit late in life to start your motorsport career, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh well, midlife crisis, whatever.
I'll creep for you.
As long as I'm not as old as Rob White, it's fine.
That's right, Grandpappy Racing. But here we go, Diego Sato. How old would he be?
I don't think he's that old. I think he might be early 30s, maybe.
Okay, spring chicken. Okay, this is good. Lots of angle into 2. They'd like that too. Now we push out toward that outside clip, but doesn't get all that wide. Didn't pop a wheel up in the air or anything, but he didn't have to. The judge, it's all straight.
Flattens out there for Daigo Saito, and that will be marked down by our head judge there. I've got some... Toshi's given up on talking to us. I just want to know what DK said just then.
He's not allowed to, I don't think.
Oh, trying to get through this thing tonight.
That's not a bad point. Up to right there. Now we get a straight as he comes out of here. Straight in there. And has to try to get back on it again to get some more angle, but it's too late and all over. Sato coming through in his second run for a...
So we must only have Levi left. Is that right, Moss? Just Levi to run?
About 93 for Shane.
93 for Shane Van Gisbergen, ladies and gentlemen. What a cracker. We're waiting on the score for... Sato's was lower, so he stays with his 96. 96. Good one from... There you go, Sato. Okay, now Joel Dimmock here in his brand new car. He's been awake 3 nights, he claims. He's trying to get this thing finished so he can debut it here for you out there in Fantown. The 240Z, the original chrome bumper jack car with a GDR VR38 under the bonnet, V6 twin turbo.
What concerns me with something like that, Miles, look, I appreciate the new car and people debuting things, but I don't understand how you can chase it. Is probably the issue. I mean, how would you commit to chasing a car that hasn't actually linked the section yet? So look, I think you'd be forgiven for sitting a fair way back behind a car that was somewhat erratic.
I think to say because you want to damage it because it's so
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, you're right. But yeah, Joel will get hold of that. Looks like at the moment the steering is like a little bit twitchy on him, and running in. It's everything's bespoke on it because they don't make stuff for cars that old. Sorry. 26, Joel Dimmack stays with his 51 from the first run. Okay, the gears, what can he do for us? He smashed out that wicked 97 last run. 93, sorry, 93. Well, this is looking good too. Hold it, son, hold it. Bit of a dab of the brakes, gets it on the apex. Whoa, have a look, he was. He's got the job done. Shane Van Gisbergen, he found form right when he needed it. Played possum, Squeak say. Yeah, production assistant Squeak.
Well, hang on, let's see what K&N replay here for Shane Van Gisbergen, MCA machine.
I like this.
Sitting on a 95, Moz. Has he gone better, do you think?
See how much wheel work he gets on 93. And yeah, so there's a bit of a wobble through there. 93 in his first run. This is going to be similar, I'm guessing. I don't know really where you'd fault it too much. And it's 94.
94 for Van Gisbergen, so I think that'll put him... probably puts him... Mos's field, I think, is so good that I think that probably puts him in about position 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what it looks like at the moment. A 94 is only good enough for 7 or 8. That's how ridiculously talented this field is. Levi Clark, I think this is our final qualifier for the night. Levi Clark, Exeter Drift team. Levi's having some cooling issues, so he's going to come out. We'll see a run. Whether we see a second one, Moz, will be up to him and the team. There are still some people with us, Moz, tuned in on the live stream. The Lees in Tauranga, cheering for Team DSR. Adam and Dave, Georgie and Simon, quiet wines and cheese at home. Richard Lay is still awake in New Zealand as well. Hello to Richard.
Dick Lay.
Yeah, Dick Lay, he's still there. Oh, the Honours are still awake. Liam and Ross working on Liam's new album, the Bieber, The Resurrection.
Oh, this is good. Levi's nailed this.
What's with the orange wheels?
Don't know. I'm not real keen on it, but I'm keen on that run. That was a cracker. Levi Clark getting the job done. Will he get another run in? If not, that's a 93, 94 too. How many 94s we're going to have, was?
Well, Matty Hill sending me some feedback there that they haven't changed the pressures in that car all day, and the car gripped up on him. So he wasn't happy with his runs there.
Unfortunate, because I had hoped a little bit higher for the great Matty Hill.
Hello to Dan Mackey, also tuned in. Dangerous Dan Mackey, big contributor to the drift scene. This is Joel just doing a drive-through, is it? He must just be trying to sort that car out. So that's it for us now. Mozzie, Mad Mike will go number 1 with the 99. Who was number 2, Moz? There's a couple of 97s in there. Did we have a 98 from anyone?
Okay.
Have a quick scan. Is Toshi? Have you got ears on up there? Well, we just want to try and we're just going to try and calculate some scores down here. Toshi, can the DK give us his thoughts on overall qualifying while we try and work out a rough top 10 for the fans?
Yes, we can. So, 今スコアの集計をしてるんですけど、その間に一回土屋さんの中で今までの感想をちょっと聞かせてください。
やっぱりね、高得点を取れるのは1コーナーから2コーナーのアクセルのオフの短い人で2コーナーのクリップからアウトクリップに対して速い人が高得点を言ってます。
So one of the major criteria that Drift King was looking at is when you're coming in from corner number 1 into corner number 2, the least amount of time you're off the accelerator. So you always want to be on the gas as much as possible. And then coming out to the outer clipping point from corner number 2 and flaring out the speed and as far outwards as you can come. That's what he was looking at. What about you, Denzel?
I mean, mainly a lot of people coming through the centre part where the concrete is quite wide there. You're either shallow or you're over it. I mean, we want you as close to the cones as possible. I mean, a lot of guys were doing it, but some, were losing points for dropping wheels off, and some were going shallow. I mean, to make it look nice and to have it flowing, you need to sort of have your wheels right at the end of the concrete there. But compared to practice, the qualifying was really, really good. Quite tough to, score, but we did our best anyway.
あとは何か？
あとはやっぱりラインにちゃんと乗ってるかどうかっていうのがすごく重要。
And whatever despite whatever category is judging, it was really important to be on the proper line, or else none of the other factors would come into play.
2コーナーのアウトグリップから最終コーナーのグリップに対してちゃんとこうラインに乗ったところでアクセルがずっとこう一定でオンオフにしてないドライバーがやっぱり高得点。
The drivers who came out from corner number 2 all the way around the big loop with a very consistent throttle control were the people that got the higher scores.
その通り。
Exactly. So today, we had to run through. We weren't able to commentate as much because we wanted to get through the qualifying. But tomorrow, we will be much more active in the Suiso, the twin drift action, and I know that we'll be much more lively. But thank you for everybody coming out tonight. Good qualifying run, good qualifying practice, and じゃあ明日またよろしくお願いします。
はい、皆さんありがとうございました。また明日。
So everybody, see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much, Toshi Hayama and Denzo and the DK up there on the hill. So, Moz, we can only work out the top 5 at the moment because scores are so close. So we're going to close off the live stream very shortly, but provisionally on pole position, number 1 will be Mad Mike Whittett. Number 2 is Michael Prosnick. Number 3 is Josh Botcher. And then equal 4th are Daigo Saito and Cole Armstrong, which we will have to go to a countback for second runs to sort those guys out. And then we have Jake Jones and Shane Van Gisbergen both sitting on scores of 94 as well. So those guys are going to be the next 2 in order. So that is it for us here from the Honeywell Garrett 2017 Drift Challenge for qualifying night. I've been Woz. Moz will be back on the mic with me tomorrow night, 6:30 Australian time after prize giving here for World Time Attack, 8:30 New Zealand time, 32:16, 8:42 Moz. I'm excited. We'll see you tomorrow.
Right on. Thanks, fans out there in Fantown. Remember to support those who support the sport you love. Honeywell Garrett bringing you the International Drift Challenge. See you in the morning.